Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the Ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
Today is the National Day of Prayer. We need more prayer in our lives, not less or not any at all. I urge you, now or sometime today and every day, to pray for you, your family, and our very messed up world. Here comes Kate Smith, and God Bless America, followed by a patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance. Come on, call in on a Thursday. Good morning. God bless America. Good morning, and right now let's go to the phone line after I tell you Zeb at the Ranch, brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, and get ready for a big spring or summer road trip with the best of tires at all 7 locations. Don't forget, too, some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Right now, our Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I want you to call back in a few minutes, Doug. We're going to talk about some real serious things this morning, and I appreciate it. God bless you, man. Thank you. All right. Time for the weather, and the weather brought to you by K&R Rental, and they're located at 256 South, 600 West of Hayburn, right there on the Burley Paul Highway. Yep, can't miss them. They're there to serve you with all the best of tools and equipment to finish the jobs you need to get done, and including your spring cleanup with the power rakes and the rototillers and the time for the garden planting and all that kind of stuff. They've got everything you need right there at K&R Rental. Hello, Roger and the crew on the Burley Paul Highway, K&R Rental, 678-3122. Right now, here's the weather.
Well, it looks like it is going to be a beautiful weekend. Good morning with your Zeb at the Ranch weather forecast. Scotty Cameron sitting in for Gina Jameson. For today, expecting the sunshine in the sky. Going to see a high around 71. Mostly clear tonight with a low of 43. Sunshine and 76 for tomorrow. Friday night, well, looks like we're going to see partly cloudy skies, a low of 47. Then for Saturday, mostly sunny, 79 the high. And those temps and conditions will be continuing throughout the weekend. Could see highs around 80 on Sunday. That's your Zeb at the Ranch weather forecast. I'm Scotty Cameron.
Oh, I love it, love it, love it. Thanks, Scotty. Good job. K&R Rental on the Burley Paul Highway, 678-3122 for all the tools and equipment. And if you need information about what you might need for the job, just give them a call, 678-3122, K&R Rental. Right now, it's time for Merv May to come on in here.
All right. Hey, good set of steer calves there. Here to $1.31.
That's the chant of the world's best doggone auctioneer, and that's Merv May at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley, and that's the sale that works for you. Today's sale day, starting at 10:30, and don't forget the number to call for cattle consignment information and sale information, 678-9411. Merv May, Cade Rogge, and Lance Udy serving you. Today, they're going to have 120 head of 800-pound ripping good steers from the Ward Dairy in Burley. And then Westgoff, boy, they got a good bunch of cattle over there, and Rupert Westgoff's going to bring in about 55 head of 550-pound heifers. Butcher cows coming in from TLK Dairy, Funk Dairy, and Acme Dairy. I already told you, starting time 10:30. Be there at the sale that works for you, the Burley Livestock Sale Yard. Sale day today at 10:30. Merv, sell those steers.
All right, he gets the steer calves there here to $1.30, 1.5, 30, 1.5, 32, 2.5, 3.5, 134, 4.5, and 5.5, 130, 550, 135, 1.5, selling $1.35. Zeb Bell gets bottom again.
I'll take it. Wheels, if you would, please. This good word for Brad Little.
Can you trust Boise developer Tommy Ahlquist? When Obama and Pelosi were trying to grab our guns, Ahlquist was one of the Democrats' top donors in Idaho. Tommy Ahlquist is so liberal, he wouldn't even vote for Donald Trump over Hillary. Now Ahlquist wants to be governor. His plan? Raise taxes on everything, from farm equipment to haircuts. Top Democrat donor. Didn't vote for President Trump. Tax raiser. Boise developer Tommy Ahlquist can't be trusted.
Brad Little is a third-generation Idaho rancher who isn't afraid to stand up and fight for our conservative values. Brad Little is pro-life, pro-traditional marriage, and pro-Second Amendment. Brad Little believes in less government, lower taxes, and more freedom. Brad Little is the conservative champion we can trust. A rancher, a conservative, a courageous leader. Brad Little will be the strong governor Idaho families need. Paid for by Brad Little for Governor, Vicki Risch, Treasurer.
Thank you very much. And I want to make a little statement here this morning that the content of this first hour might not be suitable for younger children. I'm going to get into some subjects this morning, and I'm going to be very blunt. And there may be some very blunt language used. So if you have small children or children of that impressionable age, maybe put them in another room, let them play, turn on another radio, whatever it might be. I don't care, but I just want to give that warning. We're going to get into some of those subjects in just a moment, but right now, Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. The number to call, 678-0459. They have all your heating, cooling, and electrical needs, and they can serve you. I mean, these are the best of people and have been for almost 60 years, serving you at that 2600 Overland location. And I urge you to give them a call, 678-0459. They open the doors at 7:30 in the morning till 5, Monday through Friday. The best. Ramsey Heating and Electric, serving you. Also, I'm going to double up here a little bit on time because I want to get into some other subjects. I want to remind you about Denny's Restaurant. And they're located at 611 North Overland in Burley, and another location at 291 Pole Line Road in Twin Falls. Thomas, the whole crew, any location of those two I mentioned, absolutely the best of service, the best of food. Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner, anytime, all the time. Stop in. You're hungry? They can help, believe me, at Denny's Restaurant. I hear something in the headsets. Wheels, what have we got going on in the background? I heard somebody else's voice. Anything I need to know about? Well, evidently he's not there. We're going to get into some of these topics. First and foremost, yesterday, the state of Illinois has a law that they will expect to be enforced in the schools for the teaching of LGBT so-called leaders. Now, I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to vent my complete disdain for what's going on with this idiocy in education. Do you mean to tell me that if anyone has a perverted sex life that is completely out of the norm and against any and all biblical standards, that just because of a perverted sex life, they are going to be used as figureheads and taught and expected to be learned about by our younger children? This completely is distortive to me because I don't understand any kind of sanity in this thinking whatsoever. Normal people, heterosexual people, don't go out and yell, scream, and holler about their sex lives. But you know, when you start talking about people that have contributed to society, I don't care if we're going to talk about J.R. Simplot here in the state of Idaho, Mr. Les Schwab, or Alexander Graham Bell. Their deeds and improvements to society are worthy of learning about and studying. But for the state of Illinois to do something so filthy, and that's what it is, that they're going to teach children in the classroom about the perverted abnormalcy of their sex lives, LGBT sex lives, this is beyond the pale. Today is the National Day of Prayer. And I'll guarantee you this is just one of the many things that we'd better get down on our knees and start praying about, because the filth, the sleaze, and the abnormalcy, again, abnormalcy of our society is absolutely dragging all of us into a gutter. I don't care if there are people in the listening audience that are offended by this. I don't care. If you're offended by what I'm bringing up, again, I turn the dial. But I absolutely am going to stand for the right in our society, family values in our society, and going back to those values. Case in point, the Boy Scouts. Now the name is just going to be called the Scouts. Why? I still haven't heard a good reason, other than masculinity is not to be respected in our country anymore. Masculinity has been kicked to the curb, because now it's going to be called just the Scouts. And it's going towards a unisex society. Oh, the girls can join the now Scouts, which is a complete demise and disruption, and I feel sorry for the Girl Scouts Association. I really do. But the inclusionary aspects of the girls going into the Boy Scouts, so we got to take the name away, is just one more reason why boys or men in our society can't have their own space. And I am so fed up with the fact that girls can invade or try to invade professional golf. They've got their LPGA, but that's not good enough. Now they want to invade the PGA. They want to invade the National Basketball Association. They want to invade the Major League Baseball rosters, and I'm so sick of it. On the reverse of that can't happen. Give boys and men back their space. It's a two-gender society. I'm not going to go with all the other queerish attitudes, and that's what they are, of 47, 68, whatever genders they want to come up with. We have two genders, male and female, and we'd better get back to that. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Once again, if that upsets you what I said, good. Vote May 15th for Kevin Williams, running for State Representative District 27. Kevin is pro-Second Amendment. Kevin is pro-teacher support. Kevin is very supportive of our police and agricultural economy. Fresh new ideas for a stronger, more productive Idaho. Paid for by Kevin Williams for State Representative District 27. Caller, I'll be there momentarily. Don't go away. I also want to remind everybody about another good gentleman that's running for office, and that's Leonard Beck. Want your vote on May 15th to be your District 1 Cassia County Commissioner. Leonard will be your voice for economic growth, protecting property rights, and helping promote education and job opportunities for our youth. Leonard Beck, a lifelong resident of Cassia County, wants to be a strong voice for you. Vote Leonard Beck for Cassia County Commissioner May 15th, paid for by the committee to elect Leonard Beck, Devon Rucker, Treasurer. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. First of all, with this being a day of prayer, which I'm well acquainted with that because I pray both morning and night. But today, I give a special prayer for your wife, Deanne. What a beautiful person she is, and we wish her to get well soon.
Well, I appreciate that, and I know she does too. She's gone through more than, I think, her share of hardships, but she's a tough lady, and I know that hopefully today she'll start feeling a little bit better. But, Keith, go ahead and make your point, please. Thank you.
Okay, whatever happened to when we used to call people that attracted to the opposite sex, they were called queers, because they are queer. And I don't care what you say. And women were lesbians because they like women better than men. Now, what's wrong with talking the way it should be told?
All I'm going to say is I am so distraught over a situation that has permeated itself in our society to where abnormalcy, underline the word, abnormalcy is reigning supreme. And why in the world would we allow any school, I don't care if it's in Illinois, Kentucky, Florida, or here in Idaho, any school to teach about perverted sex as a primary reason of learning about it? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, I look at it this way. When you talk about sex of any kind, the young people are going to find out about it. They don't need to be taught. The parents at home could counsel them maybe in that, but they're going to learn these things on their very own, and they don't need some teacher that probably is perverted her or himself.
I don't want any school system to be forced into teaching about a perverted gay professor or some other person that has done nothing more but promote abnormalcy. I'm sick and tired of this. I mentioned in the opening about our dear friends like Les Schwab or Henry Ford or Edison or Lincoln or Alexander Graham Bell. The list goes on. Never once did we learn about their sex lives, nor should we. But why in the world does the LGBT expect this kind of trash to be in our school systems?
Yeah, and you got people that are willing to squeal on you if you use the word queer.
I don't care what's used this morning. You know, I am so upset about trying to follow the yellow brick road of don't say this, don't say that. You might offend somebody. You might hurt somebody's feelings. Keith, I don't care. We're beyond worrying about hurting people's feelings. For heaven's sakes, we've got a society that is going down the toilet.
I agree with you there.
All right, my friend.
I want to tell you that your voice sounds better.
Yeah, and I feel better, and that means I'm going to get madder today as the day goes along. God bless you, my dear friend. Thank you. Thank you. Don't forget Pomerell Place, a place for senior living at 1301 Bennett Street in Burley. And, of course, they have an absolute great offer to you to come by, take a look at their residence, and this would offer the ability for seniors to maintain their independence both safely and comfortably. Don't forget, give them a call at 677-8212. Pomerell Place, a place for senior living, 1301 Bennett Street. The number 677-8212. And while we have just a quick moment, I also want to remind you about Dino's Septic Service. I really think these people are nice people that are serving you in a job that you don't want to do. Septic tanks pumped and septic inspections, liquid waste removal, water and sewer lines installed. They do it all. Much more, too. And always fast, fair, friendly service to you. The numbers to call, 436-6526, or in Burley, 678-1638. Dino's Septic Service, serving you with a big truck that says smells cargo on the way. Thank you very much. I don't want cowards to just sit back and not say anything. I want your opinions on this. You know, that's the problem, folks. I could shut this program down later on today and never come back on the air again. I'm not going to be cowed into going along with an abnormalcy that people want to try to relegate to the top of the pile as normalcy. It's not going to happen on this program. But we've got to speak out. This is garbage. This is garbage of the state of Illinois being, I hope not, but it may be a trendsetter, enforcing the teaching of LGBT leadership. This is ridiculous. And then the Boy Scouts taking away the name boy out of the Scouts to become unisex oh boy, that's going to cause a lot of problems. And I think it's absolutely horrible what it's going to do to the Girl Scouts. I'd like some people that are Girl Scouts to call in about this morning. Somebody have some backbone and speak out about these things. Don't worry about your neighbor. Oh, they might realize who I am. Let your feelings be heard. That's the problem. We're like sponges. We absorb all the stupidity that's going on in our society. Yeah, I'm teed off this morning. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Don't forget Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. They're right there to serve you with the best of physical therapy exercises. They've got a staff of excellent people that can and will help you. And also, they have the only one of its kind in this area, the hydrotherapy pool. Wow, that really saved my bacon. I'll tell you what, I swear by Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. Like I said, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. The number, 678-1191. Yep, that phone's not ringing. I'm not happy about that. Give me a jingle, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Also want to remind you, vote May 15th to re-elect Tim Darrington as Cassia County Commissioner, District 3. Tim knows that Cassia County has a lot to offer with its heritage and history, and he wants to help move the county forward. Tim Darrington has been very involved in updating county policy reimbursement and updating Cassia's software. Re-elect Tim Darrington as Cassia County Commissioner, District 3, May 15th. Paid for by Re-elect Darrington for Commissioner, Gail Erickson, Treasurer. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Sir, like I said yesterday, these liberals and all the things they're trying to shove down our throat is a mental disorder. Anybody that believes this should be taught to kids is mentally ill.
You know, Doug, you had the nerve, Keith had the nerve to call on this. I have had people call me. Hang on, caller, I'll be right with you. I'm going to try to go through as many calls as I can. But people today are afraid to speak out because they don't want to stand up for what's right and what's normal.
That's one of the problems with America nowadays. Everybody knows, most everybody, let's put it that way, that has any common sense knows what's right and should stand up for it. Had our forefathers been wishy-washy like the society is today, we would be under England's thumb, or we'd be speaking German because we wouldn't have been able to beat the Nazis in World War II.
Absolutely.
So we need to stand up. I mean, I own a business. I take a chance of losing customers, but I feel the American people come first. America comes first.
Well, wait a minute. You know, you can stand to lose your customers as easy as I can. If I lose my sponsors and advertisers, I'm done. I'm off the air. Okay, but I'm not going down without a fight. And that's what we've got to do, is start to bring back a fight for decency in this doggone world.
Yes, we need to decide what America is worth. What the future we're going to give to our kids and our grandkids and our great-grandkids. Is it worth standing up and fighting for, or are we just going to let them roll over us?
Amen. I've got some other calls waiting, Doug, and I appreciate it. I might have you call back in a little bit. And Wheels, watch that feedback on the line, please. Right. Doug, thank you.
Let's do what we can for our seniors.
I appreciate it. Caller number 2, I'll be right there. Don't forget, if you've got a good horse in the race and you hope it wins, yes, it does, you keep on entering that horse in the race. That's exactly the point I'm getting at with re-electing Fred Wood as District 27 representative. The man has shown his integrity and his service to you. Re-elect Fred Wood on May 15th for the District 27 representativeship. Don't forget, Fred Wood, paid for by the committee to re-elect Fred Wood, Steve Westfall, Treasurer. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Give me 1 second to get your call back in.
All right. Let's go, caller. Are you there? Good morning. Hopefully. You're on the air.
Good morning, Mr. Bell. Sorry, my cell phone just booped out on me.
Okay. What is your point, Donna?
Well, you know, in the Bible it says God created man, all men. There is only two genders, man and woman. Everybody has a right to choose the way they want to live, but they don't have to force it like they're doing on everybody else.
Why is it the sleaze is the only thing that's forced in our society, Donna?
Yep. It's I don't know. It's just one of those things that just irk my cookies. I guess I just don't understand why people have to be so perverse, and to teach our young children in school is absurd.
Well, let me ask you something. What in the world is an educational value? Please answer this quickly. An educational value of learning about perverted sex lives of the LGBT. Please, give me an answer.
I don't have one. I don't think there's any educational value whatsoever other than to instill it in their minds that it's okay.
Yep, there you go. They want to educate and teach a normalcy to an abnormal situation. All the other people I mentioned, like I said, Henry Ford or Abraham Lincoln, Edison with the light bulb, whatever the case might be. Did you sit in school and read one doggone word about their sex lives? No, you did not.
No. Oh, heavens no. And it's just like this thing with this Stormy woman. Who the hell cares what he did, 6, 7, 12 years ago? It's none of our business. It's none of their business to push into our children's minds that's okay to live like that.
Well, first of all, let's stick with facts, not allegations. And I'm not about to get on the radio on any day and talk about any subject that is all speculation. I'm not going to do it. I haven't done it, and I'm not going to do it in the future. But when I start talking about the state of Illinois passing a law that tells me that maybe my grandchildren or nephews and nieces have to be under the subordinate teaching of teachers teaching about a perverted sex life, I'm going to draw a line in the sand and I'm going to fight.
Well, I'm right there behind you. I think it's wrong. It should be illegal. And these people need to step back and leave our children alone.
Amen. Donna, I haven't seen you and George for a long time. Has he got any better looking or not?
Well, I don't know. That's a hard question to answer. You put me on the spot.
I know I am, but God bless you. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Appreciate you.
Have a good day, my friend. Bye-bye.
Caller, I'll be right there. Excuse me for the cough. It's part of the problem here this morning. Caller, I'll be right there, please. Idaho needs Nonini, Bob Nonini, for Lieutenant Governor. Vote May 15th for proven effective conservative leadership. Bob Nonini has 25 years' experience in local and state Republican politics. He believes in quality affordable health care and parental choice in education and wants to create a positive business climate with limited government involvement. Vote for Bob Nonini for Lieutenant Governor on May 15th, paid for by the committee to elect Bob Nonini, Lieutenant Governor, Treasurer R. Scott Hogue. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, I'd like to just say that I think that is horrible, and that if I was a parent and had a child in school, I'd be raising heck. And I think if they got enough parents together and went storming that school and demanded something different for everything, why not march for something decent?
Amen. Amen. Thank you for having the courage to call this morning and voice your opinion. I, too, think the parents ought to storm the school. I, too, think the parents should pull their students out of the school. I think this is an advocacy for homeschooling with this kind of trash that's being taught. Thank you for your call.
Thank you.
God bless you. Nice lady right there. These subjects aren't going to go away. I mean, look at the Boy Scout issue and the Girl Scouts, and now it's all in chaos. Oh, the liberals want to take away the word boy. They want to take away masculinity. We've had stories about this all week long. The University of Texas saying that being masculine is a mental disorder. Well, you know what I think I'd like to do, Bunky? I think I'd like to start organizing a men's-only convention. Maybe pick a weekend next fall. Men only! And if the women don't like it and the liberals don't like it, you know where they can go. I am sick and tired of men having to be ashamed of being men. Opening doors for ladies, being polite, holding a chair, whatever. There's two sides of that masculinity issue. And now masculine men are being, like I said earlier, kicked to the curb by a society that absolutely is nuts. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. This man is running unopposed, but I'll tell you what, he's on the ballot, and I want you to put a great big X by his name because he is such a very important senator to our state of Idaho. I'm talking about voting May 15th for Senator Kelly Anthon, District 27, proven leadership with strong conservative values. Senator Kelly Anthon wants to preserve our Western small way of life and serve you in the Idaho Senate. Kelly believes in low taxes, the Second Amendment, and minimal government in our lives. Remember to re-elect Kelly Anthon, District 27 Senator, on May 15th. Paid for by the committee to re-elect Senator Kelly Anthon to the Idaho State Senate. Calls welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You know, with the advent of Title IX that was supposed to create a more level playing field for the girls in sports, etc., and all that I've seen since then has been, and if it offends somebody, it's the truth, a takeover. There has been a takeover of the female attitude in our society. Ladies, if you're upset about this, call, write letters, I don't care. The feminist movement has taken over not only the sports world, but it's taken over our daily lives. It's taken over the television. It's taken over the advertisements. Men are bumbling idiots that can't do anything. Look at your TV tonight. I don't care if it's the progressive TV ads. I don't care if it's an attitude from an insurance company. The male is always less and the female more. What happened to Father Knows Best in our society? He's been put out to pasture. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. I think this is a denigration of the Scouts in general, not just the Boy Scouts or the Girl Scouts. They learned different things for different situations. That's why they were for the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts. If the Girl Scouts learn things that help them out that the Boy Scouts just can't do, and the Boy Scouts help young men grow into be good men, and with morals and standards the Girl Scouts can't do. And it's just another notch to take away from our society of who we are and how we want to function, how we need to function to keep our nation strong.
Very well put, Riley, and I'm just going to put underlines on everything you said. I am absolutely going to fight back on this program. I am not denigrating any women or girls' activity, but what I am saying is I am sick and tired of the destruction and the complete erasing of the masculinity or males in our society, and you can see it coming. This deal with the Boy Scouts is absolutely pathetic. It blatantly shows how people are moving away from respecting men.
That's it right there, Zeb. It's respect. It's respect for both genders. It's a respect for a woman for being a woman and how she carries herself and how she acts. And I was raised to respect women for being women and men for being men. When they take that away, there is no more respect any way, which way you go. There's none at all.
Amen.
And respect a woman for being a woman because you're getting in trouble for it.
Riley, thank you.
Change how I was raised, and I'm going to teach my boys and my daughter the way I was raised because it's right. By God, if they have a problem with it, then we'll just talk out back in the alley.
I tell you what, I couldn't agree more with what you're saying. I'm fighting mad over this, and I know it's a program subject that a lot of mothers, maybe with small children at home, again, a little warning, but thank you for your call this morning. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You bet.
Caller, I'll be right with you. I had to cough, so bear with me a minute if you would, please. I want to remind everybody about Barry Equipment and Rental, Sales, Service, and Parts. 159 West Highway 30 in Burley with Juan. 465 Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls with Eli, and the Nampa location. The best of equipment rentals, retail equipment sales. They've got all the Bobcat excavators, all the new and used, and they've got all the shapes and sizes, and the Walker lawnmowers. Ooh, you can mow your lawn like a king. I'm telling you, they do mow. You check it out today at Barry Equipment and Rental, Sales, Service, and Parts, Burley, Twin Falls, and Nampa. Berry Equipment and Rental. Hey, real quick, caller, before I come to you, I want to remind everybody Saturday's going to be a big sale over there at the Twin Falls County Fairgrounds. 10 o'clock Saturday morning, this May 5th, Bennett Boys Auction Service having the Southside Community Auction. It's going to start at 10 a.m. Hey, they've got all kinds of great items. They've got combines, tractors, farm equipment, pickups, gated pipes, stock trailers, sport. They've got a list of sporting equipment, all kinds of great guns and fishing gear, outstanding fishing equipment. It's that time of year. Don't you forget the Bennett Boys Auction Service with this big sale Saturday, 10 a.m. at the Twin Falls County Fairgrounds. The Bennett Boys Auction Service. No sale is too small. No sale is too big for the Bennett Boys. They can sell them all. All right, caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Jeb, I wanted to tell everybody about the best value for lunch in Burley. And it's at the Senior Junction. Now, today we're going to have finger steaks and all the trimmings more than you think you'd get for lunch, but all you can eat. And tomorrow we have chicken croquettes or salmon croquettes, your choice, with all the trimmings. And we need your support. We had a good turnout yesterday for birthday and anniversary dinner. So I want to invite everybody out to Senior Junction on South Overland.
All right, Joe, the word is out there. Joe Taylor inviting everybody to lunch today and again tomorrow at the Senior Junction on Overland. Joe, you're the greatest cheerleader for the Senior Junction. God bless you, man. Have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
All right, buddy. Thank you very much. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I really do wish right now that someone from the opposite side of the fence would have the backbone to call and arbitrate or argue with me. They won't. They always wait until after the show is over. And then they'll call me on my cell phone or they'll send me an email, and they will absolutely call me all kinds of names, and you're wrong about this, and you're a bigot, and you're a hate monger. I've been through the routine so many times. That's the problem with the left and leftist ideas. They like to chink and tear apart our society, little brick by brick, or maybe tear out the nail here and weaken the foundation. And it's obvious what's happening. The teaching of this filth in Illinois. We're going to do a segment on this next week. Let me see. I got to get the date. It is going to be on, I can't find his name on my list right now. No, it's going to be on the 15th, Tuesday the 15th. Kyle Olson with EAGnews.org is going to come in from Michigan, and we're going to do a study on this. Don't miss it. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. I have a comment. You know, actually, there are 3 genders. Sometimes it happens naturally that there's a hermaphrodite. I'm not being facetious.
No, I know you're not being facetious, but we're talking about an extreme rarity. We're talking about something that is absolutely kind of a mystic approach to science, but we basically have 2 genders and not 48 or 67, like some of these absolute weirdos are trying to preach in our school system.
No, I totally agree with you. And, you know, I was a bluebird. I was never a Girl Scout. I was a bluebird because I just didn't choose to join the others. But it was good to have girls' things and boys' things.
Yes.
And it still should be today because they need that. And if this had been in my day when I was in school, my parents would have been there and torn that place apart.
You know, let me ask you something. You have been involved in a lot of various activities throughout your life. Wheels, we're getting feedback again here. Ride that gain. But now, what are your honest appraisals as to what will happen with a unisex organization and the diminishment of not only the Boy Scouts, but also the Girl Scouts? What do you think is going to happen here?
Well, we're totally going to lose masculinity, femininity. I get so sick of what's on TV and this garbage. Like you say, the men are not supposed to be men anymore. I doubt that they're even supposed to be kind to women or open doors for them, or they won't lay down their coat over the mud puddle anymore. But we have to keep a separation. Our children have to understand, and should be the responsibility of the parents to be teaching these things if they choose to, and eventually they will because they're going to be facing it as they get in the world. But they need a healthy approach to their thinking about these things.
Absolutely.
And they aren't going to get it by being taught that in school. And I heard of one school not too long ago, even in first grade, they were teaching this. And then they talked about maybe starting it in the kindergarten. How obscene is this?
Absolutely.
And now I have to be a little bit contradictory here because when I was in high school, I was more than a tomboy because I had no girls in my life. I had all boys. I had all uncles. I actually was allowed to play baseball on the boys' team. I lettered in baseball. Never before or since has it ever happened. I did not play the out-of-town games because no school was required to have a dressing room for me. But I still was respected by those boys. I can't say that I would approve of that today. It was a different circumstances, 60, 70 years ago, because I'm a lot older than you.
Noel?
No, I totally agree. We need the separation of the boys and the girls. And how degrading. The Boy Scouts have had enough scandal going on in recent years. They don't need something more like this. Let the girls have the girls' things, the boys have the boy things, because there are times when the opposite sex, gender, should not be there.
Absolutely. I'm going to save every one of your remarks this morning and refer back to common sense. Thank you, Adrian, for your call. God bless you. Thank you so much.
God bless you, and Deanne, God bless, and I hope you're getting well quickly.
Well, thank you very, very much. Wheels, can we have this good word, please, for Representative Fred Wood?
Re-elect Representative Fred Wood, District 27. Here's Fred's views on water.
Zeb, without water, Idaho as we know it would not exist. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled in favor of salmon versus power production. As a senior member of the House Resources Committee, I will do everything within my power to stop downstream interests from taking Idaho's water.
Vote May 15th. Representative Fred Wood, District 27, paid for by the committee to re-elect Fred Wood, Steve Westfall, Treasurer.
Thank you very much. There are people probably sitting in the audience this morning that are just absolutely gritting their teeth with hatred against me for talking about these topics. But you know what, folks? I'm not going to run away and hide under a rock. We're going to talk about them because our society is, and I'm going to be blunt about it, we're going to hell. We're going to hell. And it's about high time people stepped up and said, enough, and got the broom and the dustpan and started cleaning things up. Time for the weather, brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. And don't forget, they are located right behind the Minidoka Hospital, across from the emergency room. I urge you to call Dr. Pickup and Dr. Mitchell. They really can help your hearing health. Again, they help me, they can help you. Call the number 312-0957. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Right now, here's Scotty with the weather.
Well, it looks like it is going to be a beautiful weekend. Good morning with your Zeb at the Ranch weather forecast. Scotty Cameron sitting in for Gina Jameson. For today, expecting the sunshine in the sky. Going to see a high around 71. Mostly clear tonight with a low of 43. Sunshine and 76 for tomorrow. Friday night, well, looks like we're going to see partly cloudy skies, a low of 47. Then for Saturday, mostly sunny, 79 the high. And those temps and conditions will be continuing throughout the weekend. Could see highs around 80 on Sunday. That's your Zeb at the Ranch weather forecast. I'm Scotty Cameron.
With all the true diagnostic testing available at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, they can help your hearing health. Call today for an appointment, 312-0957. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine. What can I do for you?
I'm upset. I am so upset. I agree with everything you say, but what I'm upset about are these unisex bathrooms. I just got back from a vacation with my daughter, and every roadside place, every gas station all have these unisex bathrooms. And I love you men dearly, but you're not as clean and neat as ladies are.
I agree.
And I get tired of going in there, finding the lid up, and dribbles and stuff on the floor. And then you go to come outside, and there's a man waiting. Or one time, we were in a bathroom that had stalls, and a a dude walks in and he proceeds, while I'm in the handicap, to do his business right next to me. I mean, this world is just, it sucks.
There is nothing as respect or caring about other people in this world anymore. We have lost our value system. We've lost the attributable facts of male and female. We don't honor and serve the difference in our sexes. We are being, like I said earlier, kicked to the curb to accept a unisex society. Look at the Boy Scouts losing the term boy. We are in a sick, perverted society, but it's going to take people like you and others and me to stand up and tell our leadership, if you want to call it that, back off, do it right, or you're out of business.
Well, I agree with you 100%, and as taxpayers, we pay for these things, and then we're subjected to that. Besides that, I'm an old lady, and I can't adjust my girdle if somebody's there.
You know, I got to tell you, I've never had a conversation wrapped up like that. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Well, now, I certainly hope she's got that girdle the way it fits best. We're going to have more in just a minute, maybe, so stay tuned. Don't forget. I love that. Compose yourselves, Zeb. Don't forget Representative Clark Kaufman, a Filer area farmer and small businessman running for re-election for State Representative, District 25, Seat B. Clark Kaufman, a United States Air Force veteran, and he's going to bring to the table a lot more service to you. Please remember to vote and re-elect Clark Kaufman for District 25, Seat B, paid for by the Kaufman for Idaho State Representative, District 25, Seat B, Debbie Kaufman, Treasurer. I haven't had a call like that for quite some time, and I appreciate her. She was very refreshing. Thank you very much. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Deanne just handed me a note that today is George and Donna Mass's anniversary. My goodness, happy anniversary to two wonderful people. We are blessed that they are our friends, and we wish them a very happy day together. Thank you. One quick story I want to get in here this morning. The mastermind of the 9/11 attack on our United States and New York City, and the killing of over 3,000 people, and the sadness that is permeated forever in all the families and the friends that were affected. The mastermind, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, now through his attorneys is claiming that he received brain damage with the interrogators when they tried to get the information from him. And with that claim of brain damage, they are saying that he is not going to get the death penalty. I'm just going to say this, and again, I hope the small children are out of the room. This worthless bastard killed our American citizens. I do not care how they got the questions answered. I do not care about his health. I just wish it would be a swift, quick bullet to end this mess. Caller, good morning. Quickly, I've only got a minute left.
Well, I can't believe that they're trying to do something kind to that guy. He didn't know kindness. He wouldn't recognize it if he saw it. And he was hell-bent to hurt and destroy as much as he could in the world. And you know where he's going to burn up when he's gone.
Absolutely.
And he better get there fast.
I'd like to help the man on his journey now.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of Americans and other people in the world. But get rid of him. Get him out of here.
Anything else, Chris? I'm short on time, and I always enjoy having you on the air. What are your thoughts quickly about the subject matter that we've discussed earlier?
Uh-huh.
No, I mean, do you have an opinion on anything we've said earlier? Real quick, go ahead. Oh, she's gone. Chris, don't leave me with a dial tone. Well, anyway, I know she'll call back. She's a great lady. I appreciate that. I am short on time, and I want to remind you about get ready to have a road trip. I don't care where you're going. Aunt Martha and Uncle Fred's over in Gunnison, Colorado. I don't care where you're going. Drive safely. And I urge you to stop into your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and check out all the tires for safe driving for your car, your pickup, SUV, horse trailer, boat trailer, whatever. They've got all the different tread designs, all the different attributes to the various tires, and they can help you and they will help you. And don't forget, too, the best in brake service. They've got highly trained brake technicians, front-end alignment, shocks and struts, and more. Batteries, they've got them all. Stop in and see Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. The best, your Magic Valley, Les Schwab Tire Centers. Thank you, audience. I appreciate it, and if you're offended by anything we talked about this morning, I am not apologizing. It has to be said. Right now, this word for Tommy Ahlquist, and then we'll go to the CBS News. Oh, welcome back, hour number 2, and I just was thinking about our first hour, and I wished I would have had more time to elaborate on a lot of the points I want to put forth, but believe me, next week you're going to hear more. Don't forget, Zeb at the Ranch brought to you with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations. Gearing up for some big road trips. They've got all the best of tires for you. Stop in and see them today. And don't forget some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Wheels, at this time, could we have the good word for Brad Little?
Can you trust Boise developer Tommy Ahlquist? When Obama and Pelosi were trying to grab our guns, Ahlquist was one of the Democrats' top donors in Idaho. Tommy Ahlquist is so liberal, he wouldn't even vote for Donald Trump over Hillary. Now Ahlquist wants to be governor. His plan? Raise taxes on everything, from farm equipment to haircuts. Top Democrat donor. Didn't vote for President Trump. Tax raiser. Boise developer Tommy Ahlquist can't be trusted.
Brad Little is a third-generation Idaho rancher who isn't afraid to stand up and fight for our conservative values. Brad Little is pro-life, pro-traditional marriage, and pro-Second Amendment. Brad Little believes in less government, lower taxes, and more freedom. Brad Little is the conservative champion we can trust. A rancher, a conservative, a courageous leader. Brad Little will be the strong governor Idaho families need. Paid for by Brad Little for Governor, Vicki Risch, Treasurer.
And in just a moment, we're going to have our Chamber of Commerce report. Stand by for that. But right now, Kent Searle wants your vote to become District 3 Cassia County Commissioner on May 15th. Kent Searle, a lifelong resident of Cassia County, has the experience of being a farmer, a dairyman, and he wants, of course, you to know that he's been of service to you as an EMT and first responder and has gained your trust serving on the Ag Advisory Committee and the Gateway Powerline Committee. Kent Searle says, together, we can make Cassia County even better. Kent Searle for District 3 Cassia County Commissioner. Vote May 15th. Dan Gammon, Treasurer. Also, over in Jerome County, don't forget, vote May 15th to re-elect Roger Morley, Jerome County Commissioner, District 3. Roger Morley has always said, yes, we can when it comes to being pro-Jerome County. He understands local folks and local problems and wants to continue to work for Jerome County with pro-jobs, pro-agriculture, and a pro-people attitude. Re-elect Roger Morley, District 3, Jerome County Commissioner on May 15th, paid for by the committee to re-elect Roger Morley, Lorraine Morley, Treasurer. Right now, let's say a good morning to the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce, and I think this is going to be Sarah Seymour. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
Well, I am just peachy. The weather forecast sounds like it's going to be nice and warm and sunny. How could you not be good on a day like this?
Oh, we're looking forward to some sunshine. We need it.
All right. What's happening at the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce, Sarah?
Oh, there's so many great things happening. Tomorrow at from 3 to 6 p.m., Intermountain Cassia Regional Hospital has their big event, their Health and Safety Expo. They're giving away lots of prizes. Come join them in the fun.
Okay.
Coming down the line on Saturday, we have our Idaho Living Expo, formerly known as the Southern Idaho Women's Expo. We're moving it to a new venue, Nature's Nursery and Market. It'll be this Saturday, May 5th, from 10 to 3. There is no entry fee. There's going to be tons of vendors, art contests, food trucks, demonstrations throughout the day. We'd love to see you there.
All right. That sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun and very informative about a lot of different issues, isn't it?
Absolutely. We have demonstrations on gardening, grilling, outdoor living, healthy habits, and even a fashion show.
Wow. All of this going to take place on Saturday, right?
Yep, on Saturday, May 5th at Nature's Nursery and Market. That's over on 120 East Highway 81 from 10 until 3.
Now, wait a minute. Did you mean to say Highway 30 or 81?
Highway 81 is what it says on my phone.
Okay, well, I was given information on Highway 30, so now I'm not sure which one it is, but we'll go with yours.
Well, we're over by the golf course in Burley.
All right, we'll take that then, by golly. We'll take your word, 81. Thank you very much. Perfect. All right. What else is happening?
Next week, May 9th, we have a ribbon cutting at Lulabella Boutique in Burley. That's 1400 Pomerel Avenue, located inside Dragonfly Salon. The ribbon cutting is going to be cut sharp at 4:30 p.m. They're having lots of discounts and giveaways. We hope to see you there.
Oh, my goodness. You got a lot of things. You're kind of learning under pressure, aren't you?
It's true. You know, you got to sink or swim, right?
Well, yeah, preferably the swim. But how has your first couple of weeks been as the director over there at the Chamber of Commerce?
Oh, you know, I'm loving it. I get to meet new people every day and talk to people in our community, and we're doing great things here. I'm so excited.
Well, I've heard a lot of good things about you and your personality and your go-get-'em attitude, and I like that on the radio, too.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Anything else you want to mention this morning?
We've got our Reality Town coming up May 9th. That's going to be at East Minico. It's going to be such a great activity for our kids. It's like a real-life game of life, and it's all based on their GPA and how doing well in school creates the setup for your future. So we're really excited about that. And we do have our website live. Come visit us at www.minicashachamber.com.
You know, that is absolutely an outstanding program, and I've talked to some of the powers that be, and we're going to try to get it scheduled so they can talk about it on my radio program next week. But, you know, it's high time that we really devoted a part of education to teaching these kids what to do the minute they close the door of that high school and have to meet the real world in the face.
Absolutely. They get to learn how to bank and how to pay property taxes and what to do with their kids and all these extracurricular activities and insurance. And it's just a great activity for these kids to actually see a little bit of reality.
A little bit? Yeah. I'm all in favor of that. What are the hours over there at the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce?
We're open from 9 to 5 every day.
Okay. And what about that gift shop? I get a lot of questions about that gift shop. Tell us more.
Yeah, absolutely. We have our visitor center open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, just like our Chamber of Commerce hours. We have all sorts of nice little trinkets from Idaho, keychains, magnets, some products that you can only find here, as well as maps of the area and any surrounding activities that you might want to do.
Sarah, what about the tourist traffic for this year already? Are you noticing an increase? Are more people coming through? Tell us a little bit about that.
We've seen a lot of tourism already this year, but we've also seen a lot of people that are relocating to our area that have come into our center to get maps of the area and things to do, just simply because they're new here, and we're so excited to have all those new people with us.
Well, I tell you what, if you'd have been in the Old West, you'd have been a real rapid shooter, I can tell you that. You get the gun out of the holster and do the job, Sarah Seymour. I'm proud of you.
All right.
Anything else you want to mention?
You know, we're just so excited to be here. We've got a lot of things happening. If you have any events that you want to add to our calendar, you can do that through the website. You can always contact us here at the Chamber, 208-679-4793. Any of us here would be happy to help you.
Woo! She is good. Sarah Seymour, Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
All right. She does not let any grass grow under her feet. Man, I'll tell you what, she's running. Running! Get the job done. Sarah Seymour over there at the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce. She mentioned, and we've been talking about this on separate occasions during the program, that tomorrow, May 4th, is the big event at the Cassia Regional Hospital, and I urge you to go over. It's the safety fair, health screenings, educational booths, all of this tomorrow, starting at 3 o'clock until 6, and let's see, 3 till 6 tomorrow, safety fair, many fun educational booths, free health screenings, all kinds of funds at your Cassia Regional Hospital. Don't forget to stop over tomorrow. Okay, now I also want to remind you, too, about our dear friends at Hanson Mortuary. Hello, Joel Heward. That is one of the nicest people. He took the time out of his schedule to come to our lunch bunch last week. I just really enjoy him, and his smile is infectious. And, of course, Joel Heward with his staff and family serving you at Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. And, of course, when there's the passing of a loved one, everything is just kind of thrown up in the air, and time is of essence to get this done and that done. Well, wait a minute. Stop. They can help. They will help. All you need to do is call the number 436-5636. Hanson Mortuary in Rupert. Always treating you and your family with the highest ethical standards with unquestioned integrity. Joel Heward in Hanson Mortuary in Rupert, and Joel also serving you at Morrison Payne Funeral Home on East Main in Burley. Really nice people. One more quick note. I got a cough. Hold on. I'm done. I'm hoping over the weekend I can get rid of this cough. 3 weeks, long enough, let me tell you. Also want to remind you about our friends at Ark Animal Hospital, and we really appreciate everything they do. Ark Animal Hospital at 750 21st Street in Hayburn, 678-1177. And don't forget to have the proper identification for your pets, your dogs, kitty cats, and everything. They've got it all for what you need at Ark Animal Hospital. And don't forget, too, now's the time to get your livestock dewormed before you turn them out to pasture, and don't forget to get your pets vaccinated for those ugly flies and ticks. All of this and more at a mixed animal practice, Ark Animal Hospital. Big or small, they take care of them all. They have the warm hearts for the cold noses. Ark Animal Hospital, 678-1177. Right now, I'm going to get ready to tell you all about some really good people. I am excited about what they do, and I'm talking about the great folks, your friends, your neighbors, and your great health care at Cassia Regional Hospital.
People caring about you and your health care in the most professional and progressive ways. That's Cassia Regional Hospital, located at 1501 Highland Avenue in Burley. In a moment, we'll introduce you to just one of the many dedicated medical experts serving you at Cassia Regional Hospital. Today's program, right after this. Cassia Regional Hospital provides you and your family excellent health care answers and services. They're right here, close to home. That's right. Cassia Regional Hospital offers the latest technological advances in medicine, like their new oncology programs and telehealth, which uses electronic information and telecommunications to promote long-distance patient and clinical health care. Your friends, your neighbors. Cassia Regional Hospital, 1501 Highland Avenue in Burley. Quality care, close to home. More of the great, very knowledgeable people at Cassia Regional Hospital on our program for this morning, and we get a chance to visit with Lindsay Smith, manager of the imaging department at Cassia Regional. Lindsay, good morning, and what in the world does imaging department mean, and what do you do?
Imaging department is any radiology services. We do full services in our department, so we have CT, MRI, nuclear medicine, ultrasound, regular X-ray, and mammography.
Now, I understand that in the not-too-distant future, you're going to be having a new 3D mammography technology available at Cassia Regional. Explain that to us. What do you mean, new 3D?
Sure. So what we currently have, it's digital, but it's 2D. So the newest upcoming thing to do now is 3D. So it's just like it sounds, three-dimensional, and it will give us more information, clearer images, and so on.
What will it be showing or telling people so that they can be resting assured that the right and proper technology and the new technology is helping them right there at Cassia Regional?
Anybody can have a 3D mammogram. The patients that are going to benefit the most are going to be patients with dense breast tissue. And most patients that have had a mammogram know if they have dense breast tissue or not. So it's able to see through the dense tissue better than the previous technology. And so those are the patients that will really benefit. Patients that have been called back for a mammogram before or several times, this will really benefit them. It benefits everyone, as I said, but those are the patients that it'll really benefit.
Well, when you say it benefits everyone, Lindsay, what about other injuries or other tumors or whatever? Explain that a little bit. How do other people benefit too? What does this show?
It will give us a clear image, even on a 2D image. Even if a patient only has a 2D mammogram, which we can still do on the new machine, versus a 3D, the images are still more clear and crisp than they were before. So it allows us to see things that we possibly couldn't see before.
Will it allow then, at that stage, treatment, earlier treatment, which would enhance the better care and hopefully the cure, if you will, for certain patients?
Yeah, so it will help detect cancers early, even earlier than we're seeing now, and so that's always a good thing.
Okay, and then what about other tumors, if you will, other than for mammography? Can other people benefit by using this 3D machine?
Sure. You know, if you're looking at a tumor or somebody feels something and they come in for a 3D mammo, because of the technology, it takes images in, I think it's every 7 degrees, and then each picture, it kind of does it, it goes in a layer, and so you're able to see through the tissue better to know if is that really a mass or is that just dense tissue, and then from there you could decide, is it, oh, there's really nothing there, or do we want to go further and do an ultrasound?
I see.
Similar to what we do now.
Now, what about the technology? How advanced and how many other areas of the state of Idaho have something like this?
So I would say this type of machine is going to be what everybody replaces their current one with. I know that Boise has it available. Gooding even has it available. They were one of the closest ones to our area to have it. The other hospitals closer to us, I know it's not available to those hospitals yet. I know that it's coming. So we'll be one of the only ones in this close proximity.
Well, give us a little scenario, if you would, Lindsay. You're the manager of that imaging department. What do people need to know? I mean, how do they go about setting up for an appointment? Are there any fears or trepidations that you want to try to get rid of so that they're not concerned and they're not worried? Tell us a little bit about that procedure.
Sure. So scheduling is really easy. You can call our scheduling line. It's the direct line to our department, which is 208-677-6515. And if you're having a screening mammogram, you don't even need an order necessarily. Something that's really exciting that has come out on this new machine that we were told that the existing facilities with the machine currently do not have, and it's the breast paddle that compresses the breast. It's actually got a curvature in it that's supposed to be much more comfortable for patients because it's very uncomfortable for many women.
What about breast cancer in general? I know that there's been cancer in my family and my mother and others. Are we getting ahead of it? Are we on a road maybe to where we can defeat it? What's happening there?
We always try to reach out to more and more women. There's always women out there that, you know, we don't feel like we're reaching, but we, of course, want to, and just with the awareness. And there's programs out there to help even cover a mammogram if cost is an issue.
Are we more aware of this problem today than we were 30 years ago, 60 years ago, or is the problem worse today?
I would say it's better now. You know, I've been doing this for probably 14 years, and I'd say it's been pretty consistent in the time that I've been, because I'm a mammographer as well. But as I look at the technology and the resources that we have available to us now, it's much, much better.
I would imagine that a lot of the ladies that are aware that this new 3D mammography machine is coming into Cassia Regional, it ought to give them a real feeling of, oh boy, good, now we can find out once and for all. It's kind of a feeling of relief, isn't it?
Yeah, I would think so. And I think for the women that have been called back several times, which can be frustrating, I think for them it'll really be a relief that we have the next technology available in our town to help them.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell my audience this morning while we have you on the program about your imaging department? Have we just isolated it to this new technology, or are there other things you want the public to know?
For now, I mean, like I said, we have full services. We have a great team, very knowledgeable and very well trained. And the mammography area is it's the newest equipment that we're getting right now, but we, as I said, have full services and do a great job in every area.
Well, I want to say how much I'm really proud of the various people that I've met at Cassia Regional in the various departments, and you are one of those. Lindsay Smith, manager of the imaging department at Cassia Regional Hospital, and talking about a new 3D mammography technology. Lindsay, thank you for being on the program this morning, and please come back again.
Thank you.
Tune in every Thursday at 9:18 right here on Zeb at the Ranch for more about the people and the healthcare services at your Cassia Regional Hospital, 1501 Highland Avenue in Burley. Quality care close to home.
Thank you very much. And right now, Wheels, could we have this good word for, let me see where I'm at on my program sheet, Bob Nonini.
Bob Nonini, candidate for Lieutenant Governor, a principled conservative, successful small business owner, legislator, and leader in Idaho. Bob Nonini has earned a 100% rating from the American Conservative Union and received an A+ rating from the National Rifle Association. Bob Nonini, Idaho roots, conservative values, proven results.
Hi, I'm Bob Nonini, and I'm passionate about becoming your next Lieutenant Governor. Being an Idaho native, I grew up understanding the values of hard work and dedication. I believe education is the key to growing Idaho's economy and being prepared to tackle the challenges of the future. Parents having the right to choose how they want to educate their children is crucial. Idaho needs strong leaders who allow their faith, experience, and integrity to do what is necessary in creating a better life for our residents. Experience matters. Experience counts. The choice is clear. Idaho needs Nonini on May 15th.
Paid for by the committee to elect Bob Nonini for Lieutenant Governor. R. Scott Hogue, Treasurer.
Don't forget to re-elect Clark Kaufman as your District 25B representative to the legislature. Kaufman has served on the Revenue and Taxation Committee, Transportation and Defense Committee, and the Resources and Conservation Committee. He is honest, hardworking, and capable. Remember to vote on Tuesday, May 15th. Vote Clark Kaufman. Paid for by Kaufman for Idaho State Representative for District 25 Seat B, Debbie Kaufman, Treasurer. Woo! In just a minute, we're going to be going to the phone line again, and I always look forward to a conversation with Rita Ramsey on Thursdays, and we're going to have that momentarily. I want to remind you that you've got a good man representing you in District 27, as Representative Fred Wood has and wants to continue to do so. He has always served you with integrity, honesty, and really delves into the problems to get your answers. Don't forget, integrity serving you, Representative Fred Wood, District 27, paid for by the committee to re-elect Fred Wood, Steve Westfall, Treasurer. Lots and lots going on in the world of politics, and it will continue to do so up to May 15th on primary day. By the way, too, don't forget on Tuesdays, this cough drop absolutely is one of the worst tasting cough drops I've ever had in my life. I will never buy another bag of these. Woo! They're bad. Hey, Vicky's Country Garden has a segment on Tuesdays at 9:30, and, of course, Vicky's Country Garden, 21 years in business. And they're located at 185 South, 600 West of Paul, answering all your gardening questions, of which I wished you'd send me more, and we'll have her on next Tuesday. Don't forget, Vicky's Country Garden in Paul, 438-5663. And, of course, our friends over to Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. Hello, Jeff. Hello, crew. My goodness sakes. Have you been in there? I welcome you to stop in today to Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More, and just stop when you go in the door. Just stop right there. Look around, right to left, left to right, down the middle, all over. Look at what they have. I mean, they've got all the carpeting and the luxury vinyl planks. They've got great, great mattress and expanded sleep center. They've got all the sofas and love seats and recliners. Oh, beautiful furniture, too. Beautify your home. Spruce up for springtime at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland and Burley. Yep. Stop in and see those really, really nice people today at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. By the way, one more Politico before we go to our great friend, Rita Ramsey. Don't forget Ben Crouch. He wants your vote to become Jerome County District 1 County Commissioner. Ben Crouch says it's time for a fresh approach in Jerome County leadership, and he's the man for the job. Ben has the business knowledge and ability to solve problems, and his decisive leadership will help Jerome County. Vote for Ben Crouch, Jerome County Commissioner, District 1, on May 15th. Paid for by the committee to elect Ben Crouch, Treasurer. Thank you very much. Well, I can't wait to get her on the air this morning. Good morning, Rita Ramsey. How is my friend?
I'm good, thank you.
Rita, did you hear, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit, did you hear the first hour of the program?
I listened to a good part of it. We've been kind of running like crazy around here this morning, but...
All right, I make no apologies, and I will offer none for the content of that first hour. I think we're in a very, very dangerous, precarious position in this country where the vile filth is taking over in many aspects of our society, and I'm going to fight back. What are your thoughts?
No, I absolutely agree. I think that one of you're talking about is teaching kids sex education in school, of which I think is totally inappropriate. I think they need to teach them the science things, and that's it. But that's not what they're aiming for. They're not talking about the science things. They're talking about making sure that we're gender tolerant. And that is wrong, and it's as wrong as it can be. But that's what a Common Core thing was all about, was making sure that we got these little kids in pre-K, pre-kindergarten, and so that they could start indoctrinating them very soon and take the influence away from the parents. The thing that's bad about it is you still hear people hollering, oh, we've got to make sure we get pre-K so that that's funded by the state and da-da-da-da-da. Well, that's what it's for, is so that the parents can be less relevant to children, and we take them really early on. And they will start teaching them this in kindergarten, gender tolerance. I'm tolerant of any gender, whatever they are or whatever. I don't care if they're gay or lesbian or anything else. That has nothing to do with them as an individual in the world. And so why do we have to accentuate it or make it a big deal or pay attention to it or give them special anything? They just need to have equal rights, just like you and I, but they don't need to have special rights. And I'm just getting so fed up with it that I could scream.
Well, okay, stop right there for a minute. To what educational advantage is it for a grade schooler, let's say 6th grade, back in Illinois, to learn about the abnormal sex habits of a person's past sex life? I'm talking about people that have contributed to society. I mentioned it earlier, Thomas Edison, or even on a local basis in the region, Les Schwab, or J.R. Simplot, or anybody that contributed to society's betterment, and nothing had to be taught about or even said about their sex life. Why does the LGBT get this put in the schools primarily and solely to learn about an abnormal sex life?
Well, their recruiting is the first comment that I have. The second comment that I have is it's not necessary to find out what kind of an individual they are, whether they're brilliant, whether they can be effective in the workplace, whether they can be, maybe they're genius. It's hard to say. But their sex life should have nothing to do with it any more than if I were to go and get a job and say, well, in order to get this job, you have to know that I was sleeping with so-and-so and I slept da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and on and on and on. That has nothing to do with anything. And it shouldn't have anything to do with whether they hire you or they don't.
You know, Rita, when I talked about this morning, I warned the parents about having small children in the room, but we are talking about a complete perversion of our society. In New York, and I stand to be corrected on this, they have accepted in the city of New York, under the dipstick Bill de Blasio as mayor, almost 62 different genders. I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to realize that if my biology teacher in high school, Mr. Sponham, was alive today, he would be rolling in his grave like a rotisserie because of the idiocy that's being taught in the public today. This is stupid.
Well, it is, and it's really sad that people haven't put down their foot and said, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. And what ends up happening is those with the louder voice, not the majority of people, but those with the louder voice are the ones that get to be heard and get their agenda pushed forward. And that's why it's super important, just like that caller said when he called in. He said, I've got a business, and I'm afraid that maybe I'll lose business over taking a stand, but I'm going to take a stand. Well, the thing of it is we all need to take a stand. We don't need to be disrespectful or call people names or treat them as lesser people. If they are gay or lesbian or whatever, they should just be regular people. But they shouldn't want special rights either, and so it shouldn't matter. And for anybody to get upset with you because you don't give special rights or special treatment or anything else, it's wrong.
Absolutely.
We need to all be equal under the law, and it doesn't matter who they're sleeping with.
You know, this ties in and dovetails into the conversation I also had first hour about our Boy Scouts. I don't know what your attitude is on the scouting with the male and the female, the boys and the Girl Scouts, but I looked at what happened yesterday by taking the boy away from Boy Scouts and turning it into a unisex mess. I take it as a slap in the face to all the Girl Scouts that have the Girl Scout cookie campaign. All of this is just going to be trashed because we are pushing forward for a unisex society, which I think also is sick and perverted evil.
Well, it is, and it just proves that they've taken that over. And the other thing is I think the Boy Scouts was started probably by Teddy Roosevelt, I'm not sure. Anyway, it was back in that time. And what it was started for was to help boys become men.
Amen.
So why do we need to have girls in there? The Girl Scouts have Girl Scouts. Let them join the Girl Scouts. And let the boys do the guy thing. It's perfectly fine. The thing that's really sad about it is that those who want to participate in it now are being pushed out. They're making it seem as though boys are irrelevant, which is what we have done with men. The white male is the minority, and the white boy apparently is going to be the minority as well, and they're just going to have to get used to it according to this. This is what really bothers me is there's all kinds of minorities out there, and they all need special treatment and everything, but really, if you look at it, the biggest minority out there is white males.
Let me ask you something.
Discriminated against the most.
Let me ask you something, and I don't mean to pry into your own personal family, but tell us about your children. How many sons and daughters do you have?
We actually have 2 daughters who are married, so I have 2 son-in-laws, and then we have 4 grandsons and 3 granddaughters.
Would you, as a grandmother, and I'm putting you on the spot here, but I want to know your opinion on this because you're very outspoken. I don't think that you want to see your young grandsons grow up to be of a unisex mind or just absolutely cutting out doilies and everything else. You want men to be men, don't you?
Absolutely, and when one of those little guys, even when he's 18 months old, falls down and starts crying, you tell him, hey, you're a tough kid, you jump up and it's okay. And when you do that and they realize it and they get a big smile, they're up and going again and they're not wussy anymore, and that's the way they need to be treated. That is also why it's extremely important that you have a male and a female.
Yes.
Raising children is because the females give the compassionate side, and the males make sure that they don't turn into wusses.
I do not see how this is going to benefit anybody or any child in our society. I think it's going to absolutely destroy the Girl Scouts. I think it's going to absolutely destroy the Boy Scouts. You can't have a unisex society when you're talking about young men and women, teenagers. It's just going to be a perverted evil, like I said a few moments ago.
Well, it is, and I think what's going to happen is pretty soon they're going to find out that their money base dries out.
Yes.
And what will happen is there will be churches, and I'm a member of the LDS church, and we sponsor the Boy Scouts big time. In fact, if the LDS church withdrew their money from the Boy Scouts of America, there probably wouldn't be much left.
I agree.
And so I think that you're going to see some of the churches, and I'm not a spokesman for the church, so I'm not saying this is what's going to happen. I predict that this could happen, and it will be the death of the Boy Scouts, is that these churches, doesn't matter whether it's Catholic, Methodist, Protestant, the Mormon Church, any of the others, can withdraw, and if they withdraw, the Boy Scouts is no more because they're the ones who are funding it. But that's what needs to happen. When they're doing this kind of stuff, it got a little shaky there for a while when they start, well, we're going to have to admit that it's okay if you're gay and you're a Boy Scout leader and that kind of thing. And some of the churches really started getting squeamish about it and started pulling out, and all of them didn't, saying, well, we'll have our own rules for who we have as our leaders, but just because you're doing it doesn't mean we're going to join along. But with this, I can see that it's starting to take a toll, and they're doing everything that they can to ask clergy, religious people to drop out so we can do our own thing, but they forgot where their money is coming from.
Well, I am Lutheran, and Sunday I'm going to church, and I'm going to urge my pastor and the board to withdraw any funding of the Scouts from now on because I don't like the way it's going. I'm going to go ahead and speak out, speak my piece, and I really don't care if somebody's offended.
Well, that's absolutely what needs to happen. My husband has a position in the church where he has to be over, they call it the membership drive, I guess, for the Scouts, and each Scout in our ward has to have a certain amount paid, and so the ward raises that amount of money by asking people if they'll donate money to help us meet our what we have to pay. And there have been a lot of people when they're contacted says, well, I'm not so sure about the Scouts anymore. I just don't know if I want to donate to help them, and they've been able to raise enough money these last few years, but I see it going downhill pretty fast.
Absolutely. Rita, bear with me, if you would. I've got to get a couple of spots in on a weather forecast. Please, this is a busy time of the year, as you well know. I'll be right back. Stand by, please. Let's ride. Don't forget 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World, and they've got all the 4x4s and the side-by-sides. Oh, for four-wheeling fun, this is the place to go. Absolutely. 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 4. Don't forget, a great accessory department, fantastic service department to keep you running. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 4. Let's ride where the fun is sold. Don't forget that. Right now it's time for the weather, and we're quickly going to get our weather forecast on thanks to our dear friends at Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company. And they want to thank everybody for their business going into tax season this year, and they are there to serve you with the best of tax return preparation, tax planning, business consulting, retirement planning, all of this and more, with two locations in Burley and Rupert. Remember the name and the great service to you. Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company. And right now, here's Scotty with the weather.
Well, it looks like it is going to be a beautiful weekend. Good morning with your Zeb at the Ranch weather forecast. Scotty Cameron sitting in for Gina Jameson. For today, expecting the sunshine in the sky. Going to see a high around 71. Mostly clear tonight with a low of 43. Sunshine and 76 for tomorrow. Friday night, well, looks like we're going to see partly cloudy skies, a low of 47. Then for Saturday, mostly sunny, 79 the high. And those temps and conditions will be continuing throughout the weekend. Could see highs around 80 on Sunday. That's your 7th Ranch weather forecast. I'm Scotty Cameron.
I urge you to get a hold of my friends, the professionals, providing accounting services to the Mini-Cash area for well over 50 years. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company, with offices in Burley and Rupert. Call them today. Real quick, too, we want to remind everybody about Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert, life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, all of this and more to serve you, your family, and your business. Call them today for an appointment, 436-4424. Dedicated and responsive to your needs. You call today, 436-4424, Cameron and Siemens Insurance. Rita, I want to shift gears a little bit, and again, I was very vocal in the first hour, and I'm not going to back up or apologize. When I was receiving information from some of the sources back on the East Coast in Washington, D.C. and New York, one of the big stories that was coming across was about Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the mastermind, if you want to call it that, of 9/11 and the basic killing of over 3,000 Americans, and he's sitting in a jail cell, and his attorneys are now saying that it was because of the interrogation methods that he, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, might have received brain damage, so he will not be eligible for the death penalty. And my personal thought is, I would like to take care of the issue myself. What are your thoughts?
I think there's a lot of people that would like to do exactly the same thing. This is just boggles my mind how courts and lawyers and stuff like that can just twist our Bill of Rights and everything. It just makes me sick. I was talking with a coworker a little bit earlier. He said in the last 8 years he's been on jury duty 6 times. And I said, I think they have your number. And the thing of it is, he said, I've never had to be on a jury, but he says you go in there and you spend almost one whole day for them to choose a jury, and then they decide not to even do it. And, they just don't respect the individual. And then they find out stuff like this, that, let's see if we can get him in on this guy's brain problems, and it was somebody else's issue and somebody else's fault, and so we can't do this, and we have to give special treatment because of that. And there's everybody who needs special treatment. It's everybody but the citizen whose rights have been invaded. And it's just really sad because it's so twisted and torn up and misconstrued the way that it should have been, that really none of us have rights anymore.
Rita, the problem is that this absolute worthless vermin is sitting in a jail cell, and he is and has been receiving better care than our service vets that are returning home. And I absolutely do not know why we're putting up with this. His lawyers and attorneys are elongating the process and now claiming that he received brain damage at the hands of the interrogators. I don't care. I don't care if they pulled off every one of his fingers. I don't care how harsh the interrogation methods were. I want to know the information so that this never happens again.
Well, absolutely. The thing that's really sad about it is this all has dollar signs behind it. If he had somebody that had an endless checkbook and just kept paying him to bring this up, the attorney I'm talking about, he would keep going with it. But if he had somebody that was a deadbeat that had no money and he knew he was just representing him pro bono and there was nothing out of it, you can darn sure bet that he would have done his thing and been finished with it instead of letting it carry on all these years later. He's getting paid because the guy, Sheikh Khalid, whoever what his name is, doesn't have the money and is not paying him to represent him all these years later. Somebody is, though, or they wouldn't be doing it, and it's the federal government or the state that they're in or whatever who says you have to represent this individual. So, okay, fine. I'll just get on their payroll and just keep on pulling that money in.
Yeah. One other subject I wanted to get into this morning, and I've got about 4 or 5 minutes left, and I know that you're very vocal about this, and I've been talking about it all week long. I say to the caravan members waiting down at our southern border, go home. I don't want you here. I don't want anything to do with you and your family. I want you to turn around and go back home. I am not going to pay for you. I don't want you in a country where you have nothing to offer. Go home. What are your thoughts?
Well, absolutely. They shouldn't have come here to begin with, and if it wasn't some idiot from the United States that was getting paid big-time money from somebody like the Democratic Committee or Soros, which are all one, they wouldn't have done that. They went down there and rounded up a bunch of people, and I mentioned this before, they're probably mules, and they're carrying across the wrong kind of stuff, some of them. They should not have gone down there and rounded up a bunch of people and said, let's get you to America, I can be your advocate. That's what it's all about, is somebody putting a bunch of money in their pocket because somebody has an agenda. And that agenda is the Democrats or Soros and some of the people who are trying to destroy America. And it's really sad. Those people need to get in line, go through the right process. The whole thing. I heard a guy on the radio yesterday who said that he knew some people, and I think they were from the Philippines, that had a little shop where they sold fish and so forth. It was over in California, and he went in there and he said hello to him. He said they voiced their opinion and said, we do not want those people coming in here. It cost us $20,000-$30,000 just to be able to get our citizenships here. And then there were a lot of other costs that they have to pay in conjunction with having citizenship and having a business. And because of all of that, they're saying, you know what, they need to get in line and come the way that everybody else had to come. Why should they be able to get at the front of the line? And that's absolutely right. I wish that we could get a group of people who came here legally, waited the process, and spent their life savings to get to be a citizen, and they did it by doing it the right way. If those people would all band together and start a group saying, we are immigrants who came here legally, and we are opposed to people coming illegally, I think that it might carry a little bit of weight. But the way it is it's just kind of like, well, we'll let them just sneak across the border a little bit at a time till they're all out of this holding facility, and oh my goodness, what happened to them?
Yeah, and to sit on top of a wall, taunting and gesturing and making obscene statements, sitting on a wall that separates supposedly our border with the Mexican border, and waving their country flag, and yet demanding amnesty and citizenship and a gateway into this country. I say get a fire department truck and hose them off the wall to the south side. That's it. Be done with them.
Well, they did. Mexico let them come into their country. Mexico should be responsible for them. Let them stay in Mexico if they're so abused in the countries that they came from. Mexico had to let them in to come across, and so now they're Mexico's responsibility. We shouldn't have it at all. It's really sad. We want people to come here. We want them to assimilate. We want them to help make America better than it is. But we do not want them coming in here just to get into the lines of all the free stuff. And
Absolutely.
That's what the majority of them come for.
Absolutely. Real quick, and I've taken some criticism, mostly positive, but there were some critics over the last couple of days. I made the comment that the teachers walkout in Oklahoma and then also the teachers walkout in Arizona, which is still going on, and the possibility that North Carolina might have the same problem. I said very simply, if they're not going to honor their contract, fire them. What are your thoughts about these teacher walkouts?
Well, I feel the exact same way. Didn't they sign a contract?
That's right.
They would work for X amount of dollars.
That's right.
If they don't honor it, they need to have their contract canceled and go where they can get the kind of money they're asking for. I'm okay with that. It's the same thing with benefits and stuff. If your employer says, I will give you da-da-da-da-da, and then doesn't, you have a reason to complain. But if he didn't say, I will give you this, and this is what it's going to be, and you start complaining, hello, you knew before you signed.
That's exactly right. And this is the problem with America today. A signature on a contract. I don't care if it's in the sports world. We've seen a lot of that. I don't care if it's in the business world. But now the teachers, they knew what they were signing for the per annum salary that they were going to receive. And to walk out and leave these families and these students at this time of the year with the seniors graduating and going, they need their testing records and scores, and the other students going into different grades. This is absolutely hypocrisy.
Well, it is. I would like to see them go on strike in the summer before they sign a contract, and let's see how many of them sign up.
There you go. There you go. Woo! We covered a lot of ground, and we're still running. Rita, God bless you, and thank you for being on the program this morning.
Okay, we'll see you.
You
Bye.
have a wonderful weekend, Rita Ramsey. Thank you so much. Wheels, at this time, would you please play a good word for our friend, Representative Fred Wood?
Re-elect Representative Fred Wood, District 27. Here are Fred's views on agriculture.
Zeb, agriculture is the basis of our economy and way of life in Kasia and Minidoka counties. I have wholeheartedly supported agriculture and related businesses in the legislature for the last 12 years, and I will continue to do so.
Vote May 15th. Representative Fred Wood, District 27, paid for by the committee to re-elect Fred Wood, Steve Westfall, Treasurer.
About this time of the day, because we get up so early, get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and have a little bitty bowl of cereal, I'm hungry and I'm starving to death. How about let's go to the AC Drive-In at 601 East Main in Burley. Oh, you got to try those famous Farmer Brown burgers. My grandsons love them. And an order of fries and the special sauce and all the different variety of flavor of shakes, and they've got fish burgers and they've got shrimp and small fry, just $7. All of this and more at the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. Let's move on over to Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. Ho, ho, ho! They've got the breakfast burritos. I'm telling you, they are so fantastic. Scrambled eggs, bacon and sausage, cheese, onions, tomato sauce, all on a tortilla shell, and the coffee's always on. Ooh, what a great way to start the day. Stop in any time of the day. They got those new pork burritos, everything at Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. And let's not forget Burgers Etc., 124 South Oneida and 700 Overland in Burley. Mushroom burger combo. Have you had that? It's only $5.99 after 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Knock your boots off delicious. And every Sunday at the Burley location, shrimp dinner only $5.99. Great people, what a menu. Burgers Etc. in Rupert and Burley. And last but not least, let's not forget Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 West of Hayburn. Food made the way you love it. Woo, I'm telling you, they have just celebrated their 23rd anniversary, and they've got delicious food, and the weather is nice, and they're going to start having the patio open, and they're going to have entertainment and artwork on display. Oh, my goodness sakes, what are you waiting for? What a great night out with your wife and your friends at Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 West of Hayburn. And those are just a few great places to go if you're hungry and starving to death. I am. I really am. We're going to take a little break right now, and we're going to have a word here in a moment for Tommy Ahlquist, and then Wheels is going to take us up to CBS News. We'll be back in about 7 minutes. Don't you go away. Wheels, it's all yours. Welcome back to our last hour of the day on Thursday, May 3rd already. My goodness sakes. You know, I still get the feeling like sometimes we're still back in March or whatever. Good morning, Zeb at the Ranch, and of course with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you for a big road trip. They've got all the tires and everything else. You stop into any one of the 7 locations. And our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Oh my, we got a lot of things cooking. Right now, Wheels is going to play this good word for Brad Little.
Can we trust Boise developer Tommy Ahlquist? When Obama and Pelosi were trying to grab our guns, Ahlquist was one of the Democrats' top donors in Idaho. Tommy Ahlquist is so liberal, he wouldn't even vote for Donald Trump over Hillary. Now Ahlquist wants to be governor. His plan? Raise taxes on everything, from farm equipment to haircuts. Top Democrat donor. Didn't vote for President Trump. Tax raiser. Boise developer Tommy Ahlquist can't be trusted.
Brad Little is a third-generation Idaho rancher who isn't afraid to stand up and fight for our conservative values. Brad Little is pro-life, pro-traditional marriage, and pro-Second Amendment. Brad Little believes in less government, lower taxes, and more freedom. Brad Little is the conservative champion we can trust. A rancher, a conservative, a courageous leader. Brad Little will be the strong governor Idaho families need. Paid for by Brad Little for Governor. Vicki Risch, Treasurer.
Thank you very much. And don't forget Scott Bedke, State Representative, District 27, Seat A, and also Speaker of the House, urges you to go vote in the primaries on May 15th. He's very concerned for Idaho and its growth and prosperity, and he urges you to exercise your patriotic duty and go vote on May 15th. Don't forget, this ad paid for by Representative Scott Bedke of Oakley, District 27, Seat A, also Speaker of the House, Sarah Bedke, Treasurer. And we want to acknowledge, too, another gentleman, Kent Searle, wants your vote to become District 3 Cassia County Commissioner on May 15th. Kent Searle, lifelong resident of Cassia County, and the experience of being a dairyman and a farmer, and the service to you as an EMT and first responder. And he's also gained your trust and respect, serving on the Ag Advisory Committee and the Gateway Powerline Committee. Kent Searle says, together we can make Cassia County even better. Kent Searle for District 3 Cassia County Commissioner, May 15th, paid for by Dan Gammon, Treasurer. Right now, we're going to have another segment that I really enjoy having on this program, and it's called Cassia County School Days, and it's sponsored by two great advertisers, A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley, with all the baby furniture and the baby clothing, and don't forget, too, they've got 5-piece boys suits starting at size 2 for just $52, and all the Cherokee scrubs, everything for you and your family, right there at A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley. And also the Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland in Burley for your outpatient surgeries to save you money. That's right. Check it out today. Life-saving colonoscopies, and of course, ear and tonsil surgery, much, much more. Call them at 677-8888. Ambulatory Surgery Center and A Child's World, bringing you school days in Cassia County. I don't know how this is going to work this morning, but I know I have two teachers that are ready and willing to talk to us from Burley Junior High, and they are Mrs. Kim Whitaker and Jen Schaefer. Good morning, ladies. Are you on the phone?
We are. Good morning, Deb.
I'm going to ask you right off the get-go, are you on a speakerphone?
We are.
That will not work. I have to have a handheld phone. It's too much backlash and feedback. So we're going to have to go one at a time or each get on a line, because I can't go on the speaker. Try that once. Who am I speaking to?
Kimberly Whitaker.
Kim, I'm going to start with you first. And is it true, I've heard a rumor that you have a day off at the office because of something else and somebody else helping you? What's going on?
Absolutely. So I get Monday off. I get a wonderful 3-day weekend off. And I have someone from the State Department of Education in Boise coming to cover my class. Rhonda Hagen. She is in charge of the PE, health, and school wellness. So she'll be here Monday.
Okay, well, why? I mean, what precipitated this that you can sit back and put your feet up on the desk and say, hello, world, I'm taking it easy today?
Right, I'm excited. The superintendent, Ybarra, she thought this would be a great way for the certified employees at the district or at the state level to come out to the different districts and just be right in the schools and in the trenches. And this year they are guest teaching in Regions 3 and 4. And then it sounds like it's something that they're wanting to extend and continue on throughout the years.
Okay, but what is the main bottom line? Why? Why are they doing this?
So it is the Teacher Appreciation Week starting Monday, and it's all week long. And they just thought this would be a great way for teachers to show their appreciation.
Okay, now if you'll hand the phone to Jen Schaefer. Jen, tell us a little bit about your class, and you're also going to take a day off. And if you like to fish, you can go fish or do whatever you want. Somebody else is going to carry the ball for you, right?
Oh, absolutely. And Zeb, if you don't mind, I'd like to send a shout-out to my class. I know they're listening right now. I'm a special education teacher. And I have the opportunity to actually have Shannon Duncan from the Idaho State Board of Education come and teach in my class for the day. And I plan on having a pedicure and going and having a Coke and just enjoying my day.
You know, I got a feeling that you're sitting there, nah, you're in, I'm out, I'm going to have fun. Is that the attitude?
Oh, you know it. Well, I'm so honored to be a part of it.
Well, you know, it's great. How did you get nominated or selected to take this day off?
Mr. Kottman actually sent us out the email from the state and asked us if anyone was interested, and Mrs. Whitaker and I both said, sure, why not? And then Mr. Kottman nominated us to the state, and we were chosen.
You know, when you do this, what's the initial profit or loss? What do you hope to achieve? What's going to happen with the class? I mean, what do you want people to know about this?
Well, what I'm excited to see achieve in my classroom is Shannon is actually, when she was 17, she was actually in an accident and now has to use a wheelchair. And my ultimate goal is for my students to be able to set their own goals and know that even though they have a disability, they can still reach their dreams. And I think what an opportunity for them to come and see Shannon and for them to see exactly what she's done and her passion and how she didn't let her disability stand in her way.
You know, and you're talking to a person that absolutely will raise the banner of what you just said. I absolutely am sick and tired, and I even get mad when people put levels or ceilings on people that have suffered a physical disability. There are no ceilings. You can still do what you want to achieve.
Absolutely.
Anything else you want to tell us about your class or your day off?
I'm proud of my students. They're my true heroes in my world, and I'm proud of them, and I know they're listening. And I'll let Kim emphasize on hers.
Okay, well, listen, when you have this day off, you know, I mean, if you feel up to the challenge of maybe buying my wife and I lunch so we can sit out on the deck of some restaurant, just be sure and call, okay? Would you, Jan?
We'll be sure to do that. You could even come out to the Rupert Clubhouse at the golf course. That's where I'm going to be. My son's in the district golf tournament Monday, so I didn't have to take a personal day. It worked out perfect for timing.
Oh, my goodness sakes, you're a golf mom, huh?
Yes.
Boy, I tell you what, that's a sport that doesn't give enough recognition, I don't think.
Right. Hard work and lots of personal practice time.
Yeah, and you know, you got to be so polite in the gallery when really you want to sit there and go, what a putt! Right?
Right.
Okay. Well, tell us a little bit more about your class, Kim, if you would.
So when Rhonda comes on Monday, she'll be teaching 8th grade health, and she's going to be doing a lesson on family relationships. And then in the afternoon, I have an elective class of scrapbooking. It's family and personal history. And so the students in the class will be scrapbooking and journaling about their activities and their friends and their family members. So she'll be able to see all the creativity and the amazing things that kids do each day.
Now, my wife and you would really get along well on scrapbooking. I mean, over the almost 50 years that I traveled announcing special events and rodeos all over the world, you can imagine the boxes upon boxes of all the stuff that's just in the boxes. And, boy, I need to do something with all that material.
Right, and that's what a lot of these students have found, that it takes a lot of time to get through that and decide what you really want to keep and what doesn't need to be kept.
How do you go about teaching that? I mean, what's garbage to some is a treasure to others.
Exactly, and it's their personal scrapbook, so they can put in what they would like to, but I do have requirements that they have to put first and last names, city and state, the dates, those things that are important that, you know, help with history and as people read through that so that they know that information.
I'm going to ask both of you the same question because today, unfortunately, and I'm going to just tell it like it is, I'm blunt on this program, I am absolutely denigrating the teachers in Oklahoma and Arizona and possibly other states for walking out on their students at this particular time of the year. What are your thoughts about this as a teacher that really cares?
I just think that the kids are the most important. But I do know it's important to take care of the teachers, and a lot of times the wages that they do give in a lot of these different states and individual districts just don't even compensate for the insurance. And a lot of times you end up going home with a paycheck that's smaller and smaller every year versus, you know, staying the same or even increasing with the living wages.
No, I can agree and concur with what you're saying. However, when you sign a contract, your word has to be worth something on paper.
Absolutely, right. And that's what unions can do as well, as negotiate and help in that matter. And I think that, that is really important.
Well, any final thoughts from, and I forgot who I had on the air. I think I'm talking to Kim right now, and Jen.
Jen Schaefer.
Okay, Jen, give us your final thoughts about what's going on with the Cassia County School District, and then we'll have Kim wrap it up.
Okay, there's so many things going on in Cassia County. I'm proud to be a member and a teacher at Burley Junior High School. It's a great place to be. The kids are amazing, the atmosphere. One thing that I just adore at the Burley Junior High is my peer program, where non-disabled peers come and work in my classroom, and it just builds student rapport, and the kids are just awesome here, and I'm proud to be a part of this district.
Wow, I detect a lot of pride in your voice, and I respect that. And now, Mrs. Kim Whitaker, your thought before you hit the golf course.
I just want to thank the state for, thinking of each of the teachers and giving them this opportunity to have a day off. And parents and children, students, if you would just, send a note of thanks to your teacher, because that's really nice just to know that you're appreciated for the hard work that you do and the care that we have for each of our students in our district.
Now, be sure and call me later on and let my wife and I know what time we're supposed to meet you for lunch. And again, thank you for picking up our tab.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for having us on your show.
Mrs. Kim Whitaker and Jen Schaefer, thank you. God bless you. Excellent teachers. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. And they're a part of our great Cassia County School Days today, brought to you by A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley and Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland in Burley. Number to call 677-8888. Thank you very much. Okay, now we got to pay some bills here real quick, and then we've got a guest that's going to be on the air with us at 10:30. Jim Patrick is running for State Senate, District 25, and he wants to say, hey, I want to continue supporting you and helping you. Jim is a 40-year farmer and 20-year bank director, and he understands the business issues and, of course, the farming issues in the state of Idaho, and he wants to continue serving you. So please remember to vote for Jim Patrick, State Senator, District 25, on May 15th. Paid for by Jim Patrick for Senator, District 25. And let me see, I've got another gentleman here I need to get on the air. My goodness, a busy time of the year. We're really firing at will here. Don't forget Carl Hansen wants your vote May 15th to be your Minidoka County Commissioner. Carl has the leadership experience as a hospital CEO for 29 years, 18 of which were at Minidoka Hospital. He's an organizer and a communicator. Carl Hansen wants to address the challenges in Minidoka County and help solve them. Paid for by the Carl Hansen, Minidoka County Commissioner, Committee, Jason Gibbons, Treasurer. In just a moment, we're going to go to our business salute, and I really, really appreciate, at 10:30 this morning, right after our announcements at the bottom of the hour, we're going to have State Representative Clark Kaufman, and I have a lot of respect for Clark. I don't think he realizes the great job that he's been doing in our legislature, and we're going to talk to him about various subjects. He's running for re-election. He's going to be on the air at 10:30 this morning. Let me see. You know what? At this time, I'd like to remind you about the Bennett Boys sale. Holy moly, they're going to have a ripping good sale. It's going to be at the Twin Falls County Fairgrounds in Filer this Saturday morning, starting at 10 o'clock. They'll start the auction. It is the Southside Community Auction, managed by the Bennett Boys Auction Service. They're going to have tractors and farm equipment, pickups, stock trailers, gated pipe. And Joe called me and said they're going to have a really great assortment of guns and excellent fishing gear. It's that time of the year. Don't miss the sale. Southside Community Auction Sale, 10 o'clock Saturday morning at the Twin Falls County Fairgrounds in Filer, the Bennett Boys Auction Service. No sale too big, no sale too small. The Bennett Boys, they sell them all. Going to be an outstanding sale. And with that being said, let me see, what else have we got? At this time, Wheels, if you would please, the good word for Fred Wood.
Re-elect Representative Fred Wood, District 27. Here are Fred's values on our Constitution.
Zeb, the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution are the basis for our individual liberties and freedoms in our country. I will do everything possible to secure our rights of free speech, gun ownership, privacy rights, and to uphold the 10th Amendment to the Constitution preserving Idaho's state sovereignty.
Vote May 15th. Representative Fred Wood, District 27, paid for by the committee to re-elect Fred Wood, Steve Westfall, Treasurer.
All right, there you go. Hey, Wheels, hopefully we've got Juan on the air. Good morning, Juan, over at Berry Equipment and Rental. How are you?
I'm pretty good. How about yourself?
Well, I'm sitting here in my studio looking out at the blue sky. I don't have the advantage of just throwing my pencil down on the desk and walking out the back door like you do. What's going on at Berry Equipment and Rental?
Well, myself, right now, I'm in the beautiful, beautiful city of Malta, Idaho right now. I'm making my round trips around this area, and it is beautiful.
Are you going to play hooky later on today?
You know what? I kind of want to. I haven't sat down and watched a baseball game yet, or I haven't golfed.
Are you the guy, I think I remember having on my program a couple of weeks ago, that had the audacity to say that he was a Milwaukee Brewer fan?
That is I.
At least you've got the courage to back it up. And they do have a pretty good team this year, but when all the dust settles, I hope you know the Cubs are going to be number one over them.
You know what? I could see that. And I hope that we can turn it around, but you know, you have to play the game and see how the season goes.
All right. Well, listen, as a representative of Berry Equipment and Rental, and you said you're out at Malda right now, what are you doing? I mean, you're just out there showing people how they can use the Bobcats, or what are you doing out there?
Yeah, and I'm also letting them know that right now we have 0% financing for 48 months on all our Bobcat equipment. We're fully stocked up. If they want me to bring it out to their land, I can drop off the skid steer excavator. They can test it out. Or they can come to our store off of 159 West Highway 30 in Burley and try it out in our pit.
You know, talk about that for a little bit. There's probably a lot of people like myself that have a little trepidation about getting into a piece of machinery they've never run before, and then they touch this lever, touch that lever. I mean, how hard is it to learn how to run, let's say, like a Bobcat? Can you give them a crash course? Maybe that's a bad word out in the sandbox.
No, crash course is the right way to say it. And yeah, we'll let them get in and explain every single function before they turn it on, give them a full crash course of every single option, and then we turn it on, let you go dig up a hole or excavate a hole, whatever you want. We can go ahead and let you do and try out before you take it home.
Have you ever had the occasion, I think I asked you this one time, where you have to literally run for your life?
I can't repeat myself because I think my wife's listening today.
Yeah. You mentioned, I never will forget the program, and I got to back up on this a little bit. You were on the air talking about Berry Equipment and Rental, and you said the only time you had to run for your life was when you were teaching your wife how to run the equipment. You're a brave man, but sometimes you're a little stupid for saying that.
Well, yeah, she's the boss. She controls everything, and my allowance went down from $100 every 2 weeks to $75, so that's my own fault.
I can imagine. Listen, Juan, you guys are fantastic over there at Berry Equipment and Rental, but now it's lawn mowing season. What is the big reason people should check out the Walker lawnmowers?
Oh, they're the best out there right now with the way they're designed to build to give you the best seat in the house and the best mowing ability and leave the perfect cut. There's many varieties of Walker mowers that could suit every single homeowner's needs, including our commercial ones. So we have the MT30, where that would just do great for every single commercial customer out there. Or we have the MS14i, the one that I have, that, you know, if you have less than an acre or more, that's the perfect mower to do it. Every single one of them has 0% financing for 48 months.
Wow. Now, these Walker mowers, are they a little harder to learn how to operate, or is it a piece of cake?
They are different from the standard, but they're pretty easy to run. Like with our pit, we also have a little space back there in our shop for walkers, so we can teach you how to run them too.
Okay. Well, what are the hours that you're open at Berry Equipment and Rental on 159 West Highway 30 and the other offices in Twin Falls and also up at Parma?
Yeah, so we are open from 7:30 to 5:30 Monday through Friday in Burley, and then in Twin off of 465 Addison Avenue, they are open from 7:30 to 5:30 Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 on Saturday, and then our Nampa location off 2324 Caldwell Boulevard, they are open from 7 to 6 Monday through Friday.
I tell you what, folks, this is one of the nicest, most honest people I've ever dealt with. He's also a football coach, just really involved in the community. Juan, I salute you and Berry Equipment and Rental, and God bless you, man. Drive carefully and be home early tonight with a box of candy for your wife.
Well, Zeb, you have a good one.
All right, buddy. Take care. Thank you so much. That truly is one of the nicest men you'd ever want to meet. Juan over at Berry Equipment and Rental. Let me see what I've got to tell you about real quick. Oh, here we go. I want to remind you, too, about the Southern Idaho Living Expo. It's going to be this Saturday, May 5th from 10 to 3 at Nature's Nursery and Market, 120 East Highway 30 and 81. It's right there at the junction. And all people are welcome. No entry fee. They're going to have vendors and art contests, and they're going to have all kinds of food and grilling tips and outdoor living and healthy habits. It's going to be a fun day at the Southern Idaho Living Expo, May 5th, this Saturday from 10 to 3, and this event sponsored and put on by the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce. Thank you very much. Right now, let's send it back over to our main studios. We'll be back in about 3 minutes.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb.
Thank you and welcome back. Don't forget Carl Hansen wants your vote May 15th to be your Minidoka County Commissioner. Carl has the leadership experience as a hospital CEO for 29 years, 18 of which were at Minidoka Hospital. He's an organizer and a communicator. Carl Hansen wants to address the challenges in Minidoka County and help solve them. Paid for by the Carl Hansen Committee, Jason Gibbons, Treasurer. Right now, we're going to get right into it. I'm trying to think the last time I had this gentleman on my program, and I don't remember if he ever showed up to be in the studio. Good morning, Representative Clark Kaufman. How are you?
Good morning, Zeb. I'm well.
Nice to have you here. Right now, you're probably finished planting and ready to start irrigating?
We're irrigating, and we still have corn to plant. So.
Oh, my. Where do you find spare time from being a state representative and then running a business and then also farming? I mean, what do you do in your spare time?
There is no spare time. We try, and every minute has a name on it, and we try and use it that way.
You know what? And really, you have to. I know the feeling because we get up at 4:00 in the morning to get ready for this, and then the minute this is over, I boogie to another job. I'm also in the real estate business.
Okay.
And sometimes you find yourself at the end of the day going, "I'm not going to do this another day." It gets tough after a while.
It does, and you get better at it, but it does take practice.
Tip that mic up just a little bit, Clark. I want everybody to hear your silver-throated tones. You are running for, help me if I'm wrong, your 4th term as a state representative, correct?
Yes, 4th term.
Okay. Now, that's District 25, Seat B. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, give us the parameters of what your district takes in. I mean, how big a district is it, and where does it go?
It's all of Jerome County and most of rural Twin Falls County. The city of Twin Falls is its own district. The city of Buell is in District 25, my district, but the west of Buell then is in with Elmore and Hawaii County.
Oh, so really?
It runs all of Jerome County and all the way to the Nevada border.
Okay. So you've got a pretty good amount of people that are relying on you.
Yes, about 44,000 people we represent.
What do you find is there kind of a consensus of concern about various issues from the respective areas of your district? I mean, what are the hot items?
Well, the people I visit with want lower taxes, of course. We all like that.
Yeah.
And I've worked on that, and we had some success with that this year. We had the tax cut that came, and They want good schools, and we funded education an extra $100 million every year for the last 4 years, and next year will be the 5th year of the 5-year plan.
Mm-hmm.
They want us to protect our water, the lifeblood of the Magic Valley.
It's the lifeblood of the state.
Yes.
It is. And what do you see? I'm going to stop there and interrupt because I want to talk about education, sure, in just a moment, but I want to talk about water. I'm really concerned that there are outside entities, and when I say outside entities, whether it's political or environmental, that are trying to take more of our water. Are you concerned about that?
Always concerned. We need to protect our first-in-time, first-in-right water priorities. We need to build infrastructure to recharge back into the aquifer. That's the best water storage we've got.
Are we doing enough of that?
Well, this last year we set records doing it. Of course, we haven't been doing it that long. We've put in more water. Actually, this year the measurements show that the aquifer has stabilized. So that is a real plus, and now we have to keep doing that. But it takes money to build the infrastructure to get the water from the Snake River when there's extra water, like there's a lot of water going over the falls right now, and they're recharging as much as they can. If we had more sites and more canals or
more depositories for water?
Yeah.
Absolutely. But the question is, will that ever happen with the environmental movement in this country?
We're getting it done, yes.
Good.
We have a plan that has been working and is working, and yes, we're getting it done.
Clark, you're a nice man, and you're very diligent in making sure you follow up on things, but I'm going to put you on the spot here for a minute. One of the biggest, dumbest things I've ever heard in my life, and I'm not exactly a brainless twit. I try to read as much as I can, but I think one of the movements of taking water and flushing it down down the Columbia all the way to the ocean is absolutely, it's got to be one of the most dumb things we've ever done because it's not helping anything except taking water away from humans to help humans. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. You're right. I agree that they've trucked salmon, they've flushed salmon, they've done all kinds of things, and the returns depends on what happens in the ocean and how many seals are at the mouth of the Columbia eating all the salmon as they go back and forth.
There you go.
But nobody wants to control that part of it.
How bad, if you were to look ahead from this year, 10 years down the road in a crystal ball, are you really concerned about more of the takings of our water?
As the population grows, everybody needs water, and yes, I'm concerned. We always have to be diligent. We have to be right there on the edge protecting this resource that we have.
A couple of drought years and we're in trouble.
Yes.
Absolutely. Clark, I want to ask you a little bit about education, and I'll say to you, like I said to Brad Little on the phone yesterday, that I personally am a little sick and tired of hearing the negativity about Idaho and its education and its students. And one of the groups that put advertisements on television last year that really offended me was the basics that the education system in Idaho is broken and that we're dropping the kids off after graduation in no man's land. I'm offended by that because I know a lot of teachers, a lot of administrators, and I know the caliber of education, and I think that's offensive.
I agree with you, and we heard at a forum this about 2 weeks ago an explanation of some of the criteria they use to the national organization uses to grade schools, and it's not can they read, can they write, can they do math. It was, are they in a low-income school? That drops your score down. So there are things in that matrix that don't belong there that when you look at Idaho kids, they're getting a good education.
Yes.
Can we do better? Sure. But we are not at the bottom of the totem pole. If you just track it by how much we spend per child, we may be down there. But results are what you need to measure.
Absolutely.
Not the amount of, if you're thrifty.
Well, let me ask you this question. What more can be done for education? Throwing money at a problem does not solve the problem.
That's an interesting question. I was thinking lately about solving problems, and I think a lot of times we think we're solving a problem, but we're not really at the root of what the problem is. I think you have to identify problems correctly to be able to solve them. And you might solve an ancillary part of a problem, but if you don't solve the root of the problem, I've just become aware that it's really important to identify the problem.
Absolutely, and then address it and try to solve that portion of it.
Yes.
You know, you've been involved in agriculture, I guess, all of your life.
All my life.
And you're a former, correct me if I'm wrong, Air Force Vietnam pilot, is that correct?
No, I wasn't a pilot. I was a security policeman, but I was a Vietnam veteran.
So you've served your time and served your country, and now you're back home and you're trying to run a farm, and you also have a small business. What is that business?
Well, we have several different niche markets. In fact, I brought you a sample of one of them today for your wife to cook for you.
Oh, when you mention food, I love it. Thank you.
It's a hearty barley soup.
Oh, I've heard that's delicious.
It is very good.
And you are the manufacturer.
We grow the barley, and the lentils come from North Idaho, and we mix it and package it and distribute it.
So you're quite the entrepreneur.
Well, I love doing that.
Oh, my goodness. But agriculture is still, Clark, wouldn't you agree, the backbone of our state?
Of the whole state, yeah. Yeah.
What are your thoughts about the future of agriculture? Because with the influx of people coming in and realizing Idaho is a great place to live, how are you going to mix the people and the agriculture?
I've been in several meetings where we've tried to figure out a way to preserve ag land, in the Treasure Valley especially, where it's disappearing really fast.
Yeah.
There's ways to do it, but it takes money, and that is always where the progress stops, is you have private property rights. You have people who have property, and it's their property to do with as they please. And when they get ready to retire, they want to cash that in. Well, if you don't have a source of money to pay them for the development rights that they could get for that property, then they're going to go ahead and develop it, probably.
Yeah.
So how bad do you want to preserve farmland, and who wants to preserve it? To me, it's a lot like the same argument of the PILT money, with the federal government not wanting to pay the taxes on the land that they own in our state. If you want the land to be public land, then the public should pay the taxes on it.
Yeah.
And shouldn't have to fight for it every year. Same way with the preserving ag land. Somebody who really wants to preserve it has to be able to fund it.
I'm just going to come out and say this, and feel free to criticize me, but I almost get a tear in my eye when I drive from my little bitty ranch here all the way into Twin, and I see all the farm ground that used to be. And someday I feel we're going to look over our shoulder and say, my, oh my, what have we done? What are your thoughts?
Well, I have the same feelings. I love to see it stay farm ground. But then I also like to be able to sell my property at the highest price when I'm ready to do that. So where do we?
You're caught in the middle.
Where do we find the middle ground on that?
I would hate to be a member of a planning and zoning committee.
Oh boy!
I think that's a great job to want to jump off a cliff. But we've got to look at something for the future. You mentioned like up in Ada County. And then down here, this area of southern Idaho is just blowing sky high.
Yes.
So what do you do?
You need a good comprehensive county comprehensive plan, a land use plan, and then stick to it. But you have to have buy-in to be able to get that done.
You're representing an area in your district that 30 years ago was one of the poorest economic areas in the state of Idaho, and that being Jerome County. And then all of a sudden the dairy industry came in and quite frankly was the lifesaver for that area. What are your thoughts about the way it was, the way it is now, and looking ahead?
Jerome County always has been economically, what's the word I'm looking for? Anyway.
Tested?
Tested. My wife and I were driving through Jerome the other night after a meeting, and I said, just look around here. Look at all the industry in this town. You've got a plastic bag manufacturer. You've got a cheese plant. You've got a milk dehydration plant. You've got a cheese powdering plant,
yes.
And they're expanding. All all that industry is value added. They take that milk that's produced in the county, add value to it, and ship it out.
I said to Roger Morley the other day on the program, and I mean this, that Jerome County and the county commissioners right now have a chance to be a trendsetter and a pace setter and really write something for their area that could be adopted statewide and nationwide as far as the hiring and use of illegal aliens for the dairy business. There's got to be some answers, some comprehensive answers, so that everybody can still go underneath the heading of the law and not turn a blind eye and a deaf ear to these people coming in. And Roger really took that to heart and said, we really could do something to initiate legislation that would help everybody stay within the confines of the law. Do you agree?
I think it. I'm not sure how that would work, but I am certainly in favor of doing something.
There could be an adoption of their philosophy.
Yes. Oh, I think so. Yeah. That's a tough question. You have foreign workers that economy was built on their backs.
Yeah.
You can't turn a
and unfortunately, our society, the Caucasian part of our society, has lost, in many respects, a work ethic and a responsible ethic.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, I've limited time here today, but I want to brag on you a little bit. I called Clark, I guess it was back in December at your office up in, no, it was in January, right after you were in session. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about something that really scared me, and I'd like you to elaborate on it a little bit today, and that's the electronic logging device that the Obama administration, nobody knew that this was going to be coming into effect in this fiscal year, and he had signed it years ago, and now it's really has the potential of hurting the small horsemen, the small cattlemen, etc. Tell us a little bit about what you found out.
Well, I found out that the weight limits on vehicles pulling a trailer, and this is not only livestock, this is construction people too that would have to have the CDL and the electronic log and follow all the rules of a major truck driver. We had an exemption up to a point of, what was it, March?
Yeah, this past March.
And it was extended for another 6 months.
Yeah.
And I haven't...
but that doesn't address the problem.
It doesn't address the problem, but there were some resolutions that came out of the legislature this year asking the federal government to take care of this, and one of the solutions was to raise those weight limits for pickups and trailers up to, I think it was 45,000 or something.
I think it goes without saying that it would literally kill the small horse owner from taking his children to 4-H horse shows, people going to rodeos, ropings, which, by the way, a lot of people don't realize this. The equine industry in the United States is the third largest ag business, and we're talking billions of dollars of involvement. And you take that business away, and I don't know how it's ever going to be replaced.
Yeah, I agree. We have to stay alert on this, and with the federal transportation, we need to get that figured out and fixed, and I will follow up on that.
What are the chances that this stupid legislation that Obama's administration passed through can be overturned? I mean, what are the channels, and I've only got a limited time here, but what are some of the channels and doors that have to be open to change this?
I think it's just a change in a rule on weights would take care of it.
Okay.
For that, and so I will follow up on that again and see if we can get a hold of somebody that can get us to the right person.
I tell you that's what I like about you in the way you do things. Never once on all the different discussions we've had have you ever said, well, I'll take care of it, and then I've never heard from you. You've always followed up, and I respect that.
And I expect you to call me on it if I don't.
I have a tendency to be blunt. Clark, in the time remaining, you're running for your fourth term as State Representative Seat B, District 25. I want you to tell the audience why on May 15th they should vote for you.
I would like your vote on May 15th because for the 6 years I've been there representing District 25, I've worked to lower taxes and to keep Idaho tax policies business friendly. I've worked in the Resources and Conservation Committee to protect our water and fund and recharge sites. I have worked in the Transportation and Defense Committee to get more money for our infrastructure. And we've had some success there. And last year, 2 years ago, we actually got some of the money that was all going to ITD, 40% of that going to the locals. So that I would ask for your vote on May 15th or sooner.
Let me ask you a quick question. I got about a minute left here, Clark. As far as infrastructure is concerned, 1 being terrible, 10 not so bad, where are we on the replacement or reparation of our infrastructure in the state of Idaho?
We're still over $200 million short on maintenance every year. We've increased the funding, but we were so far behind, it just takes a long time to catch up. So on a 1 to 10, I would say we're 4.7.
Really? Well, I tell you what, with people like you in the legislature, I sleep better at night, especially with these issues like ELD and everything else. And I want to give you a lot of success, and I hope everything goes well for you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me today.
Clark Kaufman is seeking a 4th term for District 25 Seat B, and I thank him for being on the program. Stand by, Clark. I'll visit with you in a minute. I also want to remind everybody about our dear friend Fred Wood. Would you please, Wheels, play that good word?
Re-elect Representative Fred Wood, District 27. Here's Fred's views on education.
Listen, man.
Education is the basis of a skilled labor force that keeps our economy vibrant and growing. In the last 4 years, the legislature has increased new funding for secondary, professional, technical, and higher education by more than $100 million per year, ensuring an education system capable of meeting our future workforce needs.
Vote May 15th. Representative Fred Wood, District 27, paid for by the committee to re-elect Fred Wood, Steve Westfall, Treasurer.
And a big thank you to Clark Kaufman for coming out here. And by the way, thank you for the soup. And if people want to check out that soup, where do they go? Tell us real quick on the air.
Swenson's, Swenmart.
Swenson's and Swenmart in Twin. And Ridley's. And what's the brand name? Real quick, you can say it in that microphone real fast.
Kaufman Farm, Hearty Barley Soup.
Hearty Barley Soup.
It's also at Rudy's downtown.
Oh, man, I can't wait to test it. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Clark. Thank you. Clark Kaufman, running for re-election, State Representative, District 25B. God bless. Thank you. Right now, it's time for our weather forecast, and it's brought to you by Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome, and the number to call, 324-7657. Or you can go to their website, scarrowsmeats.com. Delicious meats, marinated prime ribs, smoked hams, bacons of all kind, breakfast sausages, bratwurst, the list goes on. And the flavor is tremendous. Don't forget Scarrow's Meats with Don Scarrow and the crew in Jerome. Right now, here's Scotty with the weather.
Well, it looks like it is going to be a beautiful weekend. Good morning with your Zeb at the Ranch weather forecast. Scotty Cameron sitting in for Gina Jameson. For today, expecting the sunshine in the sky. Going to see a high around 71. Mostly clear tonight with a low of 43. Sunshine and 76 for tomorrow. Friday night, well, looks like we're going to see partly cloudy skies, a low of 47. Then for Saturday, mostly sunny, 79 the high. And those temps and conditions will be continuing throughout the weekend. Could see highs around 80 on Sunday. That's your 7th Ranch weather forecast. I'm Scotty Cameron.
Wow, 80 degrees. Man, I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to that great weather forecast. Thank you, Scott, man. I appreciate it. Scarrow's Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. That number again, 324-7657. Don Scarrow and his great staff. They are changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time at Scarrow's Meats. Delicious. Hey, by the way, too, don't forget, we've been mentioning this quite a bit. The big event tomorrow, May 4th, from 3 to 6 p.m. at Cassia Regional Hospital. They're going to have a safety fair and free health screenings, all kinds of fun things at your Cassia Regional Hospital. That is tomorrow, May 4th, from 3 to 6 p.m. Don't you miss it. By the way, to all the political folks and everything, we certainly appreciate all their business, and we wish all of them good luck in their respective races. And we're going to have more people on the air with us next week. We're going to have people like Kent Searle and Speaker Scott Bedke and Senator Lee Hyder, Terry Kramer, Kelly Anthon, good buddy of ours, and Kevin Williams, many more. So stay tuned for that all next week. Want to remind you, too, about our major sponsor helping us get this on the airwaves for you, and that's your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Don't forget all 7 locations serving you. Get road trip ready. My goodness sakes, yes sirree, Bob. If you're getting ready, stop in. They'll give you a free pre-trip safety check, including the checking your tires and your brake components and checking the wheel alignment and tire wear, front end components, all kinds of things to make sure that you're travel ready and ready to hit the road. Stop in and see any one of the 7 locations today. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. None better. That's not bragging, that's a fact. Your best, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. You stop in and see those good folks today. It has been a fun week, even though we've had a little bit of adversity here. Deanna's feeling much better right now. I want to tell everybody that. She's up and mobile. She wasn't feeling very good the last couple of days, and we wish her the very best. And I promise you we'll get rid of that old cough by Monday, so we're working on it. I hope that you remember this day. This day is the National Day of Prayer, and I urge you to get on bended knee and pray, like I said earlier, for your family and the future of our country and this world. National Day of Prayer. Right now, this good word for Tommy Ahlquist, and then Wheels will take us up to the news. We'll see you Monday at 8:06, where we always say the way things were are the way things ought to be.